None of my family attended my wedding because I married my sister's crush.
It sounds like you're the problem.
My sister and my husband went to college together. She had a crush on him since day one. He was all she talked about. They became part of a very close group of friends, and that same year, she invited him and her friends to spend Boxing Day with my family. That's where I met him. We had spicy sleep that same night, and I felt horrible because of the spicy sleep. Was that bad? My sister eventually moved on. She met her husband, and she got married last summer. By the way, this comes from Columbiana Mana. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So please let us know what you would do in the comments. Under all these years, my husband and I met sporadically, and one of the times he told me he loved me. But what could we have done? We tried to date others, and I tried to forget him, but I couldn't imagine myself with anyone else, and that made my relationships short and loveless. We met again officially on my sister's wedding. She had invited all her college friends. My husband and I met, and he asked me to stop running away. And we started dating secretly. A year later, he proposed. Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Now I had to tell my family. I have never endured so much hate and isolation in my whole life. I lied to them. I told them that we met at my sister's wedding and we hit it off. I never told them how I've been in love with him for almost a decade and that we have met at least once a year since that Christmas, and they've been the best days of my life. My sister is happily married and she just had her baby. Still, she told me she hated me and never wanted anything to do with me. That's actually crazy.
You can't have backup plans, girl.
It feels like OP's sister still has a crush on this guy. My family shared the same sentiment, that I'm a horrible person. Why are they so serious? They're too serious. My husband told me he didn't care about a wedding if my family not showing up would hurt me. We have wasted many years in that we didn't choose to fall for each other. He wanted me to be his wife. I still sent invitations to my family, but nobody showed up. Your family's actually crazy. They didn't even date. This isn't even your sister's ex. This is a guy she had a crush on. Only my friends and my husband's family. I wish they could forgive me for finally choosing my happiness. Any advice would be appreciated, and we have an edit. But do you have thoughts?
I don't think there's anything you can do, OP.
Yeah, because your family's crazy. There's
Are they
nothing you can
rich?
do. I don't know.
Sounds like rich people problems, honestly. Sounds like, oh God, what is this? Upper class problems.
Edit to add, I'm getting a lot of questions about telling the whole story. I don't know what more I should have written here other than this. Maybe I didn't do a good job about telling my sister's crush. My sister is outgoing and she was always open with her thoughts and feelings, so her crush on my husband was a well-known thing to us sisters and mother, and it was known for the longest time. That's why, if they had known about me and him going back longer than what I've said, believe me, they would have confronted me long ago, given their strong reaction after I told them even after all these years. They wouldn't be silent if they knew something was up. Also, they were really shocked and felt that I betrayed my sister and hurt her feelings because he's an old crush and we don't date each other's crushes, let alone marry them. But he's not a current crush.
No, your current crush is your husband. Also, Ryan J. Footy has an excellent question. How does the husband feel about sister having a crush?
That's what I'm asking, you know? How does the current guy that the sister married feel about her reacting this strongly?
Probably not great.
Yeah, I mean, duh. My other question, how does OP, your partner, feel about this whole sister thing? And how close were you guys really? Was it just a crush? You didn't really talk to her? Or did you have some sort of like connection? Because in college, firsts happened. And did you guys have any firsts together?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. OP says, I misjudged my sister's crush. We all knew she was in love and that she was hurt when he didn't reciprocate, but I thought by the time she met her husband, she was over him. Now I'm not sure. I don't think she is. I think she's still not over him.
Oh, she's definitely not.
I haven't spoken to my sister's husband in months, but from what I've heard, he's not happy about her reaction, and things aren't going so well with them. Yeah, makes sense. And there's the answer for that.
Keep your eyes on the prize. That's so crazy.
This is also added to why my family is angry, because I caused the rift between my sister and brother-in-law.
Wow. How dare you, OP?
Oh my goodness.
This is your fault.
They're going to blame everything on you. We are 4 sisters. I'm the second oldest, and my sister in question is the youngest. That makes sense. All 4 of us are of similar ages and closer, were anyway, than best friends. This adds more because she feels really betrayed. I really hope I filled all the missing information now. You did. Anyway, I'm going to send an email to my family tonight and include the whole truth. It's my last attempt to redemption. If they still don't want anything to do with me, I'll leave them be and move on with my life and try to find solace in my new family. And there is an update.
Oh my gosh. You know it's bad when you got to write him an email.
Yeah. OP, you haven't done anything wrong. And I worry that you're going into this email with the mindset of I need to apologize for something.
No, I think she's going into this email telling her perspective of the truth because
Yeah. I hope
looking at
so.
the sister, you know she's only saying the part that makes her look good. She's not actually saying it straight.
Update. Also, many asked about the full story because my mother's reaction was so strong. I've tried to explain it in the comments. My sister is the youngest and everyone's favorite, and her crush on my husband was well known, and when he didn't reciprocate her feelings, my mom was very hurt for her sake. As for the rest, they just do what mom says since she's the matriarch of the family. I would have understood their reaction if they knew the whole truth because I will never forgive myself for what I did. Oh, but you don't have to forgive yourself. This is ridiculous. Your sister had a crush on a guy who didn't like her back, and you guys hooked up once and then didn't start dating until like years later. My only comfort is that before we spent the night together, my husband told me that he never liked my sister that way and he wouldn't be with her no matter if I was with him or not.
There we go. That's what thank you.
He kept saying that and that he saw her as a sister even later throughout the years.
Oh!
Now to the update. As I said, many of you suggested that I should come clean. And there are pros and cons. Pros is that it's the right thing to do, and if my sister wants to hate me, she has the right to know the full extent of my betrayal. You didn't. This is too drama. This is too much drama. It's not that deep.
They're probably from Wales, man. What else do you think?
I will never pretend what I did back then was right. It's fine, OP. She's married. She has a baby. I just fell for him. Is that a good enough excuse? They weren't even dating, ever. And seeing that I still love him so many years later, it was real from the beginning. Cons is that it would probably hurt my sister even more and probably jeopardize her marriage even more if it turns out she's still hung up over my husband. So I wrote a long email to my mother telling her everything and asking her what I should do. I texted her to go read it. That was last night. This morning she called me and was so cold. She didn't ask how I've been, didn't congratulate me, didn't ask about my husband. She was on point and warned me about telling my sister anything. She said that my brother-in-law has moved out from their home and is asking for a divorce. So if I told my sister everything now, it will only make it worse for her. She said that I'm not allowed to contact my sister in any way and for any reason. I should leave her alone and move on with my life. She said that she couldn't believe her eyes when she read my email and how horrible I actually have been towards my sister. Worse than I thought. My mom's coldness made me understand how much I've hurt my family. I apologized about everything. I apologized for my sister and for breaking our family. She said, "Is there anything else? Fine. Goodbye then." Your family is crazy. Your family is crazy. Your mom's insane. Later, my oldest sister called me. She's always been the gentlest, and she told me that she missed me and that mom told her everything. The separation between my little sister and her husband is serious. That's not your fault. They have been fighting for months now, and he left on my wedding day because my sister was very angry and crying all day. Big sister said that they didn't want to bother me with these details on my honeymoon. I asked her if she was angry at me, and she said that none of them actually are, maybe little sister, but that I should give it time. I've talked to my husband now about everything, and I asked him if we've messed up. No! Oh my God. He just comforted me and told me to be patient, but I don't know. Our marriage started with hardship and at the cost of one of my favorite people and her husband. You didn't do that.
Sorry, did she just said favorite people?
You didn't do that.
Like her sister
Your
was one of her
favorite people
favorite?
is crazy. Update 2. I've had lunch with my brother-in-law today. Good evening, everyone. I thought I might make a new update, but I don't think it's important enough to put in on on the subreddit and bother everyone, so I'll put it here on my page. OP literally sounds like Eeyore. She's like, I don't think it's important enough to bother everyone, so I guess I'll put it here. Wake up, OP. Wake up. Many of you who are asking for more updates will see it, hopefully. My brother-in-law texted me yesterday asking to see me. I agreed because I wanted to see what he was thinking and if I could help in any way. When we met, he looked tired and miserable. He had my niece with him. I broke down crying because I haven't seen her before. I wasn't sure if I could ask to hold her, but he didn't even hesitate in placing her in my arms. She's the spitting image of my little sister, so beautiful. He asked me to tell him everything and to be honest. When I finished my story, he told me that he never liked my husband, or rather never liked his wife's obsession with him. He said she always talked about him, followed him closely on social media, and automatically hated every woman he dated.
Oh,
That's bad.
it's the don't worry about him guy.
Yeah, and also so much worse when you haven't dated this guy. It's not even an ex.
It's just a guy that I'm obsessed with.
My sister never really was in contact with my husband, and she never called, texted, or DM'd him, but she watched him closely. She commented when he gained weight or lost weight, grew a beard, gained muscles, and all while her husband was displeased and showing how uncomfortable he was with it. He asked her not to invite him to the wedding, but she insisted on it. Now he said she was yelling that it was her fault that we met each other because she invited him. She should have listened to her husband. By the way, you should listen to us and full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Do you have any final thoughts?
Dude, this sister is spiraling because the brother-in-law has the niece.
Oh?
Because usually, mostly, from what I've seen, if a couple splits, the kid goes with the mother.
Well, it depends.
Typically.
Yeah,
Typically.
it depends on the scenario because it's got to be like who as financially and, in terms of like, do we have stability in the home?
But whenever I hear anything of separation, that's usually the default.
But she looked great. And also, we don't know if I don't think they've officially divorced. So they might not have done like the whole, split custody.
They're separated.
Yeah.
Deadhead 83 says, does imaginary dating count? To the sister, they're probably still dating at this point.
But there's a little bit left. So now he had enough, and unfortunately, he can't see a way back. He cried and told me he feels like he's letting his baby down. And I cried so much for all three of them because I feel guilty too.
Oh.
You didn't do any of that. I don't understand why she's doing this. She had an amazing husband who adored her and a baby she was dreaming about since we were teenagers. I asked him if he could just give her time to come out of her grief. Grief? Come out of her grief? Dude, if someone told me that if I found out my boyfriend was in love with another person and then their sibling was like, just give them time to get out of the grief of being in love with another person, I'd be like, no, I'm not dating that person.
Like OP's been gaslighting themselves.
And now they're gaslighting the ex-husband.
Well, it's because Opie seems to be conditioned this way.
Yes, big time. He just shook his head. Afterwards, he congratulated me and wished me good luck and left me with my niece. I emailed mom everything. Maybe she could help my sister. I haven't got any answer yet. And that's the end of the story, folks. Genuinely, the mom is like the villain of this story because she is not allowing this to happen, but she's encouraging this behavior from the sister. And that's so toxic. My sister refused to attend our cousin's wedding because I brought my daughter along. What's wrong with the mini-me, huh? My sister has a debilitating fear of vomiting. We're off to a strong start. My friend does too. It's so funny. Our family has a history with OCD. And when she was in middle school, she had gotten incredibly sick with E. coli and was hospitalized for 2 weeks. During this time, she had frequent vomiting and got moderate esophageal damage from vomiting. Wow. Which caused her pain for months and some complications afterwards. That is awful. By the way, this comes from Am I the AIO Phibius. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments.
Ooh, I was a cat. And the wink at the end. Who's she feeling like?
I didn't consent to you flirting like that.
Ooh, let us know. Opie says, since then, she's altered her life to ensure she never vomits again due to her trauma. She sticks to eating only bland foods. That sucks. Will not eat any food she hasn't prepared herself, doesn't drink or take any medication that can cause vomiting, and obsessively checks news alerts for salmonella, E. coli, or stomach virus outbreaks. This isn't a mild dislike or phobia. She has quit a job and lost relationships over her obsession. There's no world where she can just suck it up for a few hours. A few months ago, at my mom's birthday gathering, my sister's fear extended to my daughter. She seemed normal before we took her to my parents'. However, she vomited on the couch. Ooh. My sister screamed and immediately got up and left. My daughter asked about why her aunt left without saying goodbye and felt bad that her vomiting scared her. I was pretty upset with my sister after that for hurting my daughter's feelings, but they resolved it on FaceTime. Honestly, your sister has that's more than just oh, I hate vomit. Like, she has truly what's the word? Like PTSD.
Phobic.
It seems like she has trauma over this vomiting, so I don't think it's something that she's doing it intentionally to hurt your daughter, you know? Since then, she has avoided my daughter in person, although she still calls her and sends her gifts. This incident did cause her to seek treatment, however. Good. She needs it. And she's been in therapy for a couple of months. My cousin is getting married on Valentine's Day. And my sister called me today saying she doesn't think she can attend if my daughter attends. She's been tracking the stomach flu in our area, and apparently there's a mild outbreak. And she's convinced my daughter will get it at daycare. She was really emotional on the phone, crying profusely and saying she knows her OCD is a problem, she needs to fix it. And she loves my daughter so much, but she can't fix it in time for the wedding. She's also really close to this cousin and was set to help her get ready, so not going will devastate her and upset the bride. I asked her about whether she's afraid other guests will get her sick, and she just said it's easier to avoid physical contact with adults and my daughter will run right up to her. I told her I'll control my daughter, but that wasn't good enough for her because children touch everything. I told her that if my daughter gets sick, we won't take her. But she pointed out that last time we didn't realize she was sick. Fair.
Also, how can you tell when coming?
Yeah.
It's a wedding. A lot of people are going to be there. You can get sick there.
Yes.
Exactly. And people are going to be drinking and probably getting sick.
Yes. However, OCD is so it's not
It could be
reasonable.
crippling sometimes. Yeah.
It is
I get it.
it's not rational. I honestly feel like OP should have someone watch her daughter. I don't think she should bring her daughter to the wedding.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like her sister has OCD, has trauma from this, is actively working on it, is trying to fix it, but, seems to think, and probably rightfully so, that she cannot fix this by the wedding, is closer to the cousin than OP. I feel like that's a fair ask, honestly. I mean, her
It's not
daughter's young.
I was gonna say it's
would
not
she
the
even know?
daughter's fault though.
No, of course not. But the daughter is young. I feel like you could say, hey, you're going to have a play date with your friend. And she'd be like, awesome. I love my sister, but I also love my daughter. And I don't think my daughter should be removed from family gatherings because she got sick one time. And while I know my sister can't fix her mental health overnight, she's known for years she needs treatment and hasn't gotten it until recently. I'm just skeptical that this won't lead to a further exclusion for my daughter. And that would be an issue. If it continued, then I would say, put your foot down. And I think you could even tell her now, I will do this time, but this isn't going to be a thing that keeps happening.
It's very odd because, again, if she goes out in public and she sees kids or infants or what have you,
that's the thing she's going to have to deal with.
She has to deal with it.
But
it's
that's, yeah. I think that you can accommodate her for this wedding, personally. My daughter is 3. I know she's 3. She's not going to care about the wedding. I know she won't care about not attending the wedding if we distract her with something more fun. I know securing childcare won't be that difficult, husband's parents, but it's the principle of having to change our plans to accommodate her illness that she's known about for years and hasn't taken steps towards alleviating. Well, she is, though. I told my sister I'll think about it, but I'm honestly torn. Would I be the a-hole if I said no to her request to leave my daughter behind, which is what I'm leaning towards, and there is an edit? Personally, I think you would be the a-hole. But that's just me personally. I think your 3-year-old's not gonna care.
I mean, yeah. I don't think it's about the kid at this point.
Like, I think it was like a 5-year-old and she knows what's going on and she was going to be like a flower girl.
Yeah.
Or part of the wedding. That's one thing. But a 3-year-old's going to be just crying. Not necessarily all 3-year-olds, but a 3-year-old will be crying and, be bored at a wedding. And then you have to go to bed early. Yeah.
I mean, she's actively working on it. She's trying to fix it. Yes, she should have done it earlier, but she didn't. She is now. I think you tell her that it's only happening this time and it's not going to be a common thing.
Yeah, it can't be like, all right, we're having a birthday party and, oh, my kid's going to be there. Guess you can't come.
I think that's it. Edit. I got a lot of comments and I'm honestly still torn. This situation will suck either way. Additional context, I want to bring my daughter to meet her extended family members. This is normal in my family. Everyone brings their kids for this reason, and the bride and groom support this. The bride would prefer my sister be there if the situation were in a vacuum. However, if the bride knows my sister considered not coming, she will not be as understanding. I cannot ask the bride without ruining the relationship. There will be other kids, but my sister isn't afraid of them because she hasn't seen them vomit. And there is an update. I'm going to get right into it. A lot has happened since, and I wouldn't say that all that has happened has been productive. In my initial thread, I had made a decision to tell my sister I won't bring my daughter. Okay. During the convo, I told her that this would be the only time, agreed, because I didn't want our daughter to end up like we did dealing with our OCD father. My sister seemed to take this to heart. I asked if she talked to her therapist. She said no, because she was afraid the therapist would tell her something she wasn't ready to hear. Well,
So she's not doing the work.
well, you gotta be doing it. I know I may get hate for this, but I amended my offer. I told her she has to tell her therapist about this during their next session and get her opinion and support before I exclude my daughter. I think that's super fair. I think that is super fair of you. I made this choice because I don't think it's healthy for her to keep things from her therapist. If her therapist agreed with her, then I wouldn't fight it. But if it was potentially enabling, I did not want to impact her care by reinforcing anything that could cause later harm. So my sister talked to her therapist. Apparently her therapist told her she can't dictate a guest list as a coping mechanism, and that's not sustainable, and told her to seek coping mechanisms that won't require others to change behavior. I think that was a great move of UOP. Before telling me what her therapist said, my sister ended up going to the bride directly and asking if she could wear a mask and be seated away from my daughter during the ceremony and leave after the ceremony. This caused some conflict between my sister and the bride because she didn't want the mask in the pictures and was upset she was leaving so soon. They compromised and agreed that she'll take her mask off for pictures. My sister texts me that I can bring my daughter. I think this went great. I think it went better because OP was open to not bringing your daughter. In the background, before my sister's text, I was prepping my daughter not to go and setting up some fun times with her grandparents. After my sister's text, my cousin ends up calling me and discussing how annoyed she is about the mask and how she didn't make my sister a bridesmaid because she has limitations. I asked her if it would just be easier for me to not bring my daughter. She gave the vibe that this would be her preference instead of my sister wearing a mask. Then I text my sister, my daughter isn't coming. And while I don't tell her it's due to my cousin's request, she goes on a rant about how my cousin will not accommodate her and admits she came to me because she knew my cousin wouldn't accommodate
This is
her.
so annoying.
Yeah, this is now this is getting into like, she said this and then she said this. And OP's actually being the most accommodating here.
I'm with Kenny Cruz. Nobody cares.
Yeah, OP's just stuck in the middle now. I think you were really nice, actually. You did like the A+ thing.
Above and beyond.
Yeah, you went above and beyond, and now everyone's like, "Bah, bah, bah," and you're like, can I bring my daughter or not?
Yeah. Like, yes or no?
Apparently, my cousin was already annoyed that she planned not to eat at the wedding unless she could bring her own food. My sister thinks excluding a person is more reasonable than a slight modification to the dress code due to a health issue. And while I agree more with my sister than my cousin, my sister does always go out on a limb for her. I'm not the bride, and I don't want to be in the middle of this. She said my daughter going will actually be healthier for her since it's partial exposure therapy, but she needs the mask as an aid. At this point, I'm tired of the back and forth and wanted to stop as it's all happened within the same day. I tell my sister my daughter won't come and will go to the aquarium instead, and that a wedding is not a venue for exposure therapy. I just didn't want either my cousin nor my sister to change their mind again. And I hope you guys don't change your mind about listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Unless your mind is to not listen to them, in which case I hope you do change your mind. But there's a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I honestly believe that they're both annoying.
Yeah.
And it seems like it shouldn't have been like a whole triangle of
Yeah, why is
like,
OP
should
so
I do,
involved?
Should I do? Yeah. OP's like, listen, I just wanted to know if I should bring my daughter or not.
Is she coming or not? She's 3. She doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like not a big deal. But like, if the bride wants her there, then yes, because it's her wedding. But if you don't want her there, because you have this debilitating like illness, like it's hard to choose between those two. But I mean, I think like I would just say, all right, she's not coming. End of story. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
She just won't be in pictures. Whatever.
But there's a little left. Next week is the wedding, and at this point I don't know if my sister will still get ready with my cousin. It sucks that their relationship is breaking down over this, and my relationship with both of them is kind of affected because I feel like my daughter and I were being pulled back and forth in the middle. In happier news, I asked my daughter if she'd rather go to the party, what we're calling the wedding with her, or the aquarium with Nana and Gramps, and she chose the aquarium on the condition that she gets cake, which was her sole motivator for going to the wedding. So at least someone is happy.
Good daughter.
Yeah, she's like, I want cake. I want fish and cake.
That 3-year-old knows what she wants.
My uncle freaked out because of me. At least now we know his true colors.
Purple, magenta, orange.
This happened last winter. I, 32 female, was invited to my aunt's 50th surprise party last year. The party was organized by my uncle, 49 male, who is generally a pretty gruff guy. By the way, this comes from Orange Blossom 293. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest and moved away to escape small town politics, everyone knowing my business and the general scrutiny. I don't go back much aside from holidays to see my family. My family and I don't share similar views, and a lot of the older males in my family tend to have gruff and aggressive demeanor. My uncle historically did not listen to my aunt and tended to put her down frequently over trivial things. They have been on the brink of divorce a few times throughout their relationship, something I learned over the last year from my mom, my aunt's older sister. I was told that my uncle had been working on his drinking and aggression after my aunt asked him to reflect on his actions and the way he talks to her, and he did for a while. When my uncle told me he was throwing her a surprise 50th birthday party, I was over the moon for her. He was providing her with a grand gesture. The day of the party arrived, and my husband and brother drove 2 hours to my hometown to attend. It took place at a local bar that my aunt and uncle liked, and it was a great turnout. All of her friends, family, her kids, my cousins, and special people were there. She was so surprised. When she walked in and hugged me, she cried and was happy that my brother and I were there since we drove from out of state. I told her we were happy to be there and had nothing to do with the planning. It was all my uncle. I was proud of him, and my aunt was beaming. My uncle let us know that he had an open tab and would be covering drinks like beers. My cousins, her adult children, ages 23 through 27, and I have a tradition of taking terrible fruity shots together at holiday gatherings. Naturally, I ordered 5 to 6 shots to distribute to my cousins, my aunt, my mom, and my aunt's girlfriends. About an hour or two later, we were all having a great time, including my uncle. This is when everything came to a head. My uncle, very intoxicated, got the tab from the bartender and instantly became belligerently upset. He started yelling at the young bartender, saying that only beers were supposed to go on the tab. The bartenders looked to be about 21 to 23 years old and were visibly shaken by how loudly he was yelling. The whole bar went silent. My uncle continued to argue and yell at them. I overheard that he was talking about the shots I had ordered, so I went over immediately and apologized to him while he was still yelling at the staff. I said I had misunderstood what his open tab was for and offered to pay for the shots out of pocket. I said to his face, "This is my fault, let me pay for the shots." My mom, standing right next to me, backed me up and said, "We will pay for them." My uncle stared at me as if he didn't understand what I was saying while I apologized, then went back to yelling at the bartenders. While this was happening, my aunt stared on in horror. This was a typical reaction for my uncle, but I never thought he would do this in public on her birthday at an event he organized in front of all of her peers and family. I remember looking at my uncle's brother-in-law, who was glaring daggers at him. My cousins and I looked at each other, feeling completely guilty as the shot takers. My uncle then yelled to the whole bar, "These bartenders are idiots! Everyone come back to my house for beers instead!"
Yeah, everyone's going to be like, yeah, let's all roll up to the belligerent drunk who's yelling at the bartenders. What a cool hang that guy is. Why doesn't everybody want to hang out with me?
Come to my house,
You
free
guys
booze.
all suck.
And if you don't come, your mom's ugly.
I'm gonna take all your car keys and drive all your cars at the same time. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
My aunt tried to take charge and said, No, we are not doing that." My uncle, belligerent, walked away fuming. I took the chance to talk to the bartender, apologized for my uncle's behavior, gave her a large tip, and my mom and I split the cost of the shots. My mom and I huddled nearby, watching my aunt cry. Aw, I was fuming as well. We silently consoled her and hugged her. My husband had stepped away to use the restroom and missed the whole incident, which I was thankful for. He knows my family has a history of verbal aggression, but has never witnessed it firsthand. When he came back, he asked what had happened, and my brother and I caught him up. While explaining, my mom was still consoling my aunt. I checked in, and they told me that my uncle's brother-in-law had driven him back to his house. The other guests trickled out quickly. No one went to their home to continue the party because it was ruined. It lasted about 3 hours before it imploded. Even though I took accountability for the shots and the misunderstanding, I felt awful that my action directly contributed to my uncle's outburst. My aunt cried on her birthday, the party was ruined, and we all went home. About a month later, my aunt moved in with my mom full-time and started considering divorce. By spring, they were officially divorced. My aunt still lives with my mom and is very happy. I cannot get past the guilt of having a hand in this. They never had a great relationship during my life, but I can't help feeling that my misunderstanding of the tab was the catalyst for their divorce. I feel terrible writing this because I know logically that I did everything I could to remedy this situation, but I still made a mistake by misunderstanding the tab rules and inadvertently contributed to their marital breakdown.
Nah, you're not at fault for that. Come on now. Come on. You didn't turn him into a drunk. He was already that.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think, this guy had problems way before you even came into the picture. And now that just, anything. People like that, anything is going to set them off. So, you cannot take it personally. You did that and obviously that wasn't your intention. Your intention was to have fun with your cousins because you never really see them because you live out of state. And it's like a tradition that you do. So, and also you righted your wrongs by paying for the shots. So, none of this, this is not your fault.
Yeah, literally a situation that should have just been, who ordered these?
Yep.
Oh, no, I was only covering, brewskis.
Yeah.
So you going to pay for these? Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like these. If you go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app, and just search OK Storytime.
It's that easy, folks.
True.
It's just that easy.
Truly is. I recognize that I messed up by ordering shots. I truly don't know how I interpreted beers as anything including 6 shots.
Because it's just their drinks.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the drinks covered, essentially is what he said.
Dumb.
But he meant very literally just one kind of drink.
That was a big mistake on my part.
Nah.
And for that, I am an a-hole, I know.
No, it was actually like a really, really small, understandable mistake. It was really just a miscommunication on your uncle's part.
Yeah. You know, it's a party. Everyone wants to celebrate. Include the booze. All of it. Don't leave things out. Anyway, my mom and I went 50-50 on the shots because she insisted as one of the shot takers. I could have asked my cousins to help pay as well, but we wanted the order to be over quickly. I asked because I've had extreme guilt over ruining a relationship, toxic or not. I try to be the best person I can and do no harm in any way I can. I don't feel like I can take credit for saving her, as she may have come to the divorce decision anyway, but I hate knowing that I was involved in her distress and embarrassment.
My mother tried to cancel my wedding. I walked down the aisle anyway.
Ooh, yeah, screw mom, you don't need her.
I'm a 32 female who waited so long for her big day. Before I met my fiance, I was single for many years.
It's usually how it happens.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I
Not-
don't know.
Not,
Does it
not for a lot of people, Savannah.
Oh, I don't know.
I waited for everything to be just perfect. And by the way, this comes from Sleeping Beauty 94, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to do what, Savannah?
Give you some advice, but
How?
goofily.
There we go. And what are the people watching supposed to do?
They can go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and submit their own stories.
Yes, and
And also listen
and
and respond.
comment. That'll
and
do.
comment down in the comments. Yeah.
There
I
we
was
go.
like,
As OP says, my maternal grandmother passed away today. My wedding is in 12 days.
Kabloom.
Ah,
Kablow.
She was very sick for many years, and this was going to happen at some point. She lived a very long and very full life.
oh, good.
My mother automatically decided that my wedding is canceled.
Oh, that's not really how that works.
Because grandma?
Because grandma can't come now. It's indefinitely canceled. Like, okay.
My fiance is the only one who's paying for everything, not my family, and he'd lose a year worth of savings on non-refundable deposits. We planned and dreamed for this day for so long, and if we cancel now, we can't have another wedding in many years. We both are resident doctors. We're basically going to be broke for a long time. I also waited 8 months to have a week of vacation so I can get married. It's so difficult to get another time off. I'm so angry and frustrated. In the beginning, my dad supported my decision, but now he's blaming me. I talked with my fiance and decided to keep the wedding unchanged. We deserve to be happy. Both he and I had so many tough years and life threw a curveball after another curveball in our way. This is our only chance to celebrate ourselves. Am I the a-hole if I keep the wedding now? My dad said he and mom won't attend, and it breaks my heart. Is OP the a-hole?
No, I don't think so at all. Weddings are so expensive, and like I understand like this is an ideal time, but like this has already been a decided thing for everyone involved. So like, you know, not even just family members, but like the wedding venue, the people, you know, like a band, the cooks, the caterers, like you can't just like that's so much money just lost if you just like don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with their relationship either. It's not like, you know, I don't know, we're on the rocks, blah, blah. They were so excited. They took the time off of work. They planned for this. They, you know, got all the savings, everything for it. And it's,
they knew about grandma. They knew
Yeah.
it was about to happen.
and it
If it was
stinks.
like a little cousin in a horrible car accident, and it was just like all of a sudden, and the family has to like, dynamic has to change, it makes sense to push the wedding. This,
Especially what it was
we kind of knew she was going to get hit by a
it was,
missile.
it was 12 days, right?
12 days.
Yeah, 12
Yeah.
days. So like usually
Yeah,
you
it
have
does
like
suck.
the funeral within like the week. I feel.
No.
Yeah, at the end of the
Keeping
day,
it going.
especially if you can't change the date or refund. If it was like you can change the date, maybe, but 12 days is great. Like it's too soon.
Ooh, Brehav has a good point. Can we set up Zoom for grandma?
I was gonna say this would be like a really good distraction for like to celebrate.
That's the other thing. And
Yeah.
also like getting the family together. And you can do like people do, at least at like my brother's wedding, like they had like a memorial table where like all the people who couldn't be there, like my
Oh,
grandma,
that's
grandpa,
really cute. Yeah.
you know, her like cousin, uncle, whatever,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. There's a memorial table.
Since it's so close, we can maybe get a memorial shed, make it bigger.
memorial shed.
No, you go in the shed, you see all the pictures of grandma,
Aw.
little videos playing.
Little video playing.
You got like grandma sounds in there. I love you, sweetie.
my back.
Here's some cookies.
Oh.
The judgment, not the a-hole. Update. 17 days later.
That's past the
So,
12 days.
yeah.
Will
it's
OP
happened.
be married or
so.
not?
Please be married. Please be married. Please be married.
Or will the parents be there?
Or will the parents be married?
Or be there? They said they weren't coming.
I
Will
know.
they be there or will they be square?
Update. The wedding happened.
Yay.
And we had so much fun.
Yay.
My oldest uncle, someone who's very respected in their family, sat down with my mom and talked to her. She ended up coming, and Dad did too. Dad walked me down the aisle.
Good.
Nice.
Dude, older uncle's aura is just immaculate.
I guarantee you, like, I think it was in the heat of the moment, like,
Yeah.
with emotions
I
really,
think so too.
like,
Mm-hmm.
really at the height of, like, I'm sad, like, I don't know how to think, I'm in my feels. I guarantee you that uncle, like, came up to mom and be like, what do you think she would want? Like,
Yeah.
grandma.
WWGW, Sofa King says.
What would Granny
Boom.
want?
Boom, literally, like, she wouldn't want you, like, especially on, like, your daughter's special day, like, she would want you there, kind of thing.
Exactly. Now, the biggest plot twist for me was finding out who was the mind behind the idea of canceling the wedding.
Was
Oh.
it not your parents?
Let's see who's underneath
Was
this
it-
Scooby-Doo mask.
Was it grandma?
Grandma put in her will, they cannot get married if I'm not there.
By the way,
Oh,
Oh.
you can't get married until you listen to more OK Storytime.
Mm.
Just search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to be wed.
Sooner rather than later.
So it turns out, my only aunt, who always claimed to be on my side and my close friend, was the one who kept whispering in Mom's ear. She started nagging her the moment my grandma got ill, even before she deteriorated and went into a coma.
Oh my god.
She told her their brothers would cut connections with her if she kept her daughter's wedding going while their mom was sick. My uncle was livid, and he gave my aunt a big piece of his mind, and I loved it.
Wow.
Alrighty, thank you all for the support. Oh. Sick.
Wow.
Dang. OP. Who knew the ant? I did not see the ant coming, did you?
No.
no, she wasn't even in the story.
Yeah, she wasn't even mentioned until right now.
Dang.
So
We can't Scooby-Doo this crap without having all the characters involved.
Yeah,
that's true.
it would be nice. Soon I'll have something where we can see the characters on screen.
like an animation,
Mm-hmm.
like a reenactment. We
Well,
should reenact.
But even
these.
then, the aunt was never involved until then. Like, she's like, guess who did it?
The ant.
The aunt. Who? Who?
Aunt Barbara.
Johnny Johnson, the real estate owner.
What? Oh well, the ant doesn't get an invite anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so random. But good for you, OP. Still standing strong. I heard the story of this guy one time.
Mm-hmm.
He was gonna get proposed to his wife.
He was gonna propose
He was
to his.
he was gonna
wife.
get proposed to, or
He was gonna propose to his wife.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
And the day of, he got a phone call, and his best friend since elementary school, that he's been with, like working business partner,
Oh well.
passed away.
Oh,
that
and
day.
So he was like,
So he's like, do I still propose because he's a videographer, like a photographer, all these people going, or do I push the proposal? He proposed.
he did propose.
He proposed because he's like, I understand has its way, but like it shouldn't stop me from like living life. And
That's
and he'd
true.
want this, you know?
Yeah. Ugh.
It's tough. But I also question, was it because you spent like probably like $8,000 for the proposal?
If there's like, if I was like proposing and like I have so many things and like that's the only time slot I got them for and it's non-refundable and I can't change it unless if I can't physically make it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. That'd
Yeah.
be crazy.
Twin brother is getting married, but he told me not to come.
Do not come. Do not come.
I, 33 female, moved abroad more than a 10-hour flight from my hometown and slashed most of my family and on another continent. In July, I had some tensions with my twin brother Nothing serious, but we didn't really speak to each other. And following that, he got engaged to his girlfriend of 4 years. By the way, this comes from Sigback. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, I made a trip home in November and saw him. There was no animosity, and I even asked if I should stay my final night at his place since he's near the airport, which he immediately agreed to. But in the end, it didn't pan out because I wasn't comfortable taking all my luggage and a small child on the train. But I'm emphasizing the point where there wasn't any hard feelings or anything around it. Instant yeses, lots of love, nothing unusual, in fact. Me and my brother love each other, and we may bicker or go radio silent, but it is never anything serious. In November, to my face, he says he didn't have a wedding date. They were thinking end of summer, which I took to mean third week of September. And he specifically said, don't book anything travel-wise. Later, I get a text from my family member saying that they will see me on August 22nd. I did a double take and asked if they are sure that the date is set. They informed me that they were told this specific date was penciled in. So, tentative, but not in the ink.
Right, because a pencil has an eraser.
I got back to my brother, but he didn't respond. As flights for me are going to be expensive no matter what, and I will have to find childcare since I was told it's a child-free wedding. There is a big difference in September flight prices in August. But now my brother isn't responding to my messages, and I'm asking for clarification on if I'm invited and what dates are, as travel cost is only going to go up for me. He hasn't responded, and I'm not sure what to do. I get the feeling that he will wait until travel is too expensive to invite me, so it looks like I'm the one who refused. Until now, there has been no question that I'd be invited, and I have made it clear that I'll make the trip for him. Also, I have a feeling that the bride doesn't want me there. She certainly made a point to separate us when they came to visit, because I literally would look at my brother and just laugh without instigation, because we are just deliriously happy and goofy and ridiculous around each other. I know it's odd for those who witness, and friends have said that it's like we are in our own world, so I can respect the bride not wanting me there. If it would make her special day all the more special if I were not there, I'm happy to accommodate and save money by not traveling to a wedding where I'm not wanted. But the mixed signals and silence is throwing me off a bit here, because he knows my ticket is going to become unaffordable if they have to wait until June or July to invite me. So what should I do? Am I overthinking this? Any help is appreciated. And we have some comments, but what say you, Dakota?
I don't know, dog. You want to go to the wedding or not? I don't think you do, so don't.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, maybe OP is just like a super people pleaser, but I would not expect anyone to respect the wishes of their brother's fiance of like not wanting their sister there. That feels,
I mean,
right?
yeah.
Like,
if you got a twin
yeah,
and they're getting married, you'd think like, well, I should be there.
right.
But if there's a vibe that it's like you're not wanted here, then it's like, well, that's weird, and I guess
weird.
I'll not go.
We have some comments though. Comment 1 says, you're way overthinking, but understandably since you're international. You are making your brother anxious with your anxiety though. Planning a wedding is a lot of stress, and you're adding to that pressure by asking for plans not finalized. I'd shut down too. If you're really concerned about flight and trip expenses, open up an airline-specific credit card. Most give points for referrals and no interest the first year. Can easily cover the whole trip and slowly pay it off. You should get into therapy for anxiety and stress management. In the most gentle way possible, it's not normal to be this anxious. Weddings and large family gatherings bring up strong feelings and weird behavior in people. Look at therapy as an extended investment in the trip and in your health. OP says, I really appreciate this. And the time taken to respond. Thank you. I didn't think I was being overly anxious. I think my guard is up because I was told by my brother not to make plans, while other family members are given an exact date and info like it's child-free. I have a son who will be 10 at the time. So that has for sure confused me, especially since I know bride's side will be flying in, so I'm sure they are given advanced planning time. Their flight is 3 hours, same country, and mine is much longer and international. It is unreasonable to expect to be given advance notice or at least info that's congruent with what others are told. If there's anxiety, it's coming from that, being told one thing and hearing something totally different from others. I'm a bit thrown by that. I will for sure let up my bro though. I don't want to put added stress on him. I needed that perspective. I've never spent money that I don't have or signed up for a credit card, but what I can do is invest in a ticket that has insurance and flexibility.
But for that, I at least need dates because I was told end of summer and heard instead August 22nd. Comment 2 says, don't listen to rumors from a game of telephone. Wait for an invite with details. Your brother specifically said don't book travel yet. Probably because they're still negotiating on venue. August 22nd is the end of summer. September 1st is considered fall where I'm from. I'm sure they'll let you know soon, but don't have contracts signed yet. Reasonable advanced warning varies couple to couple. Some send out save the dates 2 years in advance. Others are more last minute planners and may send out an invite 2 months before. This is less common. Every society, culture, and couple has a different standard. It's understandable that you want an answer to plan, but there's really nothing you can do but wait and save up. OP says, thank you. I will do exactly that. For me, delay increases price, and honestly, if he waits too long, it won't be doable. I hope my family understands if that's the case, and I'm not blamed for it. My husband works in medical, and his schedule is booked out way in advance, but he will be the one taking time off as well, just to stay home with our lad. Comment 3 says, have you actually called him? Texting is great, but phone calls are better. If you can't get a response from him, then talk to your mom or dad. Call the bride-to-be. If all of that fails, then send your brother a final text. Hey, I have tried every possible way to confirm your wedding date with no success. Person X says it will be August 22nd, but I need to hear it from you. At this point, it feels as though I'm not wanted at the wedding. If that's true, it's okay, but just tell me. If I am invited to the wedding, I need to know soon. If I wait too long, I will not be able to afford the plane tickets to attend. This is my last attempt at getting confirmation. If I don't hear anything from you, I will not be attending. This is not my choice, but due to the circumstances, it will be the end result. I hope to hear from you soon. Opie says, this is really helpful. Thank you. I'll for sure call him. That's interesting. I don't know. I feel like that text, if it is sent at like the very end of calling all these people, asking all of these different people, like as many people as you could, then I could see sending that text. But right now, that text to me can come off a lot more upset than it maybe is.
Yeah, I think all we need to do is be like, all right, well, I mean, just to be clear, if the ticket's too expensive, if I can't really, I don't know if I can come.
Right.
So let me know as soon as possible so I can book that ticket.
Yeah.
Love ya.
I think that's
Bye.
totally cool. Add a little like, sorry if I'm being pushy. This is my reasoning.
Yeah, no, I'm just being straight up with ya.
That's all. That's all. But commenter 4 says, how can you receive backlash for not attending a wedding to which you weren't invited? It's weird that you haven't picked up the phone, but so far his lack of communication indicates he's not prioritizing you attending his wedding. If your main purpose in going is to avoid backlash, your family has bigger issues than you should budget for. Decide if you even want to go and then call your twin, not the bride or your mom. OP says, picking up the phone means using my landline to avoid incurring a cost to him, and also organizing with him a time since my time zone is 9 hours ahead. That we are not only both awake but not working. I don't have social media or apps that can allow internet calls except WhatsApp, so picking up the phone is doable but not simple.
It's literally what you just said. I don't have any apps to do this except for the one app every single person on earth uses to do this.
Yeah, so I don't, yeah, that was a little weird.
You can do it with that app. That's fine.
You got it. As for the backlash, my family knows how close we are, and even from infancy, we are inseparable. We were like salt and pepper. We were the babies of the family too, so the older siblings all saw our bond. They would be disappointed if I wasn't there, and ashamed if I myself avoided it. I wouldn't willingly avoid it, but looking at prices now, I'm seeing the cost is already much different than what it was in November. And we do have an update here. Brother isn't responding and flight prices are growing. 8 days later. So, my 35 female twin, 35 male, is getting married. In October, while I was in my home country, to my face, he said, we are thinking end of summer. Don't plan on getting any tickets. I'm a 10-hour flight away on another continent, but that same time, my parents are saying it's August 22nd. Now I'm still hearing it's August 22nd, and that, of course, I'm included, but I have no news from the couple. It's been recommended that I buy a flexible ticket for August 22nd, but at this point, as I'm not invited, I don't see why I should get a ticket. I'll get huge backlash if I'm not there, honestly, probably disowned. I get the feeling that I'm not welcome, but that they will wait until prices are ridiculous, so it seems like it's my fault for not going. I have called, left voicemails, iMessages, etc. I don't have a way to group chat and include everyone on one app because I don't have social media, but it wouldn't help anyway because if I go to my parents, they will tell me to figure it out between us. He has kind of been the golden child, and already I told my mom and sent her the screenshots, and she said he's busy living his life. And my dad told me not to put pressure on them since they are planning a wedding, and it's already stressful. There is an edit. Just got a message from my brother now, but what are your thoughts on that so far?
I don't know. It sounds like everyone's dumb. You should have bought that. You should have bought that ticket.
Yeah,
You should have just bought the ticket earlier.
yeah.
I've got half a brain right now, and I know I should have bought that ticket earlier.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, I understand that you might not feel welcomed, but also, is it then going to be a thing where it's like, well, now, you know, it's their fault for not putting more effort into making you feel super welcomed and invited, you know? Like, I feel like that's not something that we want to accuse.
At this point, just get the
Just go.
ticket. Get a one that you can change the date if you need to, or like a credit if you don't go.
Yeah.
But the price is just going to keep going up and up, and all you're doing is complaining about the ticket. At this point,
Yeah.
you have your date. You know
Mhm.
where to go. Sure, like just buy the ticket. If you don't go, change it to another flight when you want to go home or go somewhere else. Transfer it. Just get the ticket.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of thinking about what someone else is thinking and not a lot of talking to that other person to hear what they're actually thinking. I think it would be so much better for you if you got a ticket, went, and then they were like, oh no, we actually don't want you at our wedding. That would make them look really bad and you look still good. So like just go.
Yeah, don't do anything that would make you look worse.
We do have an edit. Got a message from my brother just now. It says, please do not plan on attending our wedding. Okay, so at least we have our answer now. It was different than what we would have guessed and hoped, but got a definite answer apparently.
Got a big old definite answer.
Honestly, it feels nice to have closure on that matter. Best of luck to him. Comment number 1 says, that sounds like a really sucky situation to be in. It's very clear your brother is intentionally not responding. Whether it be because you aren't invited to the wedding or he's trying to make you look bad, you probably won't get anywhere with him. Your parents are making dumb excuses for him too. He should have the common decency to at least say that he's busy and arrange a time to talk later. You mentioned that there would be backlash if you aren't there and that it's possible that they're waiting until the last minute to tell you about an invite so you can't afford a ticket and that you would look bad not showing up. If that's the case, and if you can afford it and you are able, I would suggest buying a fully cancelable / refundable ticket for that date now. Hope he does respond. I don't know why, but your words feel so reassuring. I feel like I'm going crazy by simply asking for communication and being expected to make a huge trip, yet not even given the courtesy of a response. And a commenter asks, how long has OP been waiting for a response from her twin brother? OP says December 27th. He sent me a message on the 25th, a response to my Merry Christmas, but nothing since. But in October, he said to my face not to book. Parents are all telling me, of course, I'm included. I'd better be there. No matter what I do, I'm penalized. One commenter says, I'm a guy, and let me tell you what is going on. Your brother isn't sure he should get married in 2026. Ooh, maybe he has the jitters and afraid that you'll tell your parents and they will put even more pressure on him. And it's 8 months away and it's not set. He's stuck telling you to hold off and worried how that will come across. Him ghosting you is not good though. Just say this. I know you have a lot going on. If you need to talk about anything, it's in my vault as always. When and if you get married, I'll be there. Or the bride doesn't like you and she said no to the invite. Opie says, whoa, okay, I'm gonna say this. He was almost pressured into an engagement in 2022, and when it didn't happen, she set an ultimatum.
Ooh, I think we're on the money now.
I think so.
I think we found the gold.
Date passed, but also as years went on, our fam kind of got upset with him and said either crap or get off the pot.
Either do a little poo-poo or get off the potty.
That is the saying. And stringing her along knowing that she wanted a marriage wasn't fair. So your words are hitting a certain kind of way. To respond. Not sure I did anything to the bride, but I have gotten the feeling from the jump that she doesn't like me. Also, it is her day. I'm totally fine to make it the best day possible, especially if that includes my absence. But as I have no communication, I don't want to assume. Our friends have said me and my twin are in our own world, and it's hard for the observers, but I can't perceive it from the interior. Me and him were polar opposites, enemies in high school. So take of that what you will. A commenter asks, is there a possibility that they could be eloping with just the parents? OP says, no, she has been talking about their wedding for years before they were even engaged. She wants a big wedding. In October, he said that he is just agreeing to whatever she wants. Why doesn't OP contact the bride or other family members regarding the wedding? OP says, I contacted other family members today. The bride, I've only ever had a superficial relationship. Nothing bad, but not close. We do have a second update from a week later. Thank God. Thank God. I got the vibe that I wasn't invited and his fiance hates me, but our parents kept saying, of course I was included, made me feel ridiculous for thinking I wasn't, since we have been so close for most of our lives. For context, we are fraternal, boy-girl twins in our 30s, I'm the girl, and never really had any major beef that should warrant this, but it is what it is. By the way, you know what else is what it is? The fact that the fact that we've got full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime, and it is what it is.
Do we do that?
We do have some comments, though. Comment 1 says, sounds like a conversation with your brother is in order. Opie says, I don't think I'll be heard. Comment 2 says, dang, that's messed up. There was no previous issues? Opie says, oh, that's a great question. Nothing huge, a little bit of gossipy juvenile stuff, but nothing that would warrant being uninvited. My dad's wife then took my text immediately to my twin brother, and it started a bit of drama. He was acting shocked and denying that she said that, yet here we are, and as I thought, I'm not invited. So that his fiance absolutely hates me. OP responds to a couple comments about cutting communication with her brother. If OP's parents keep pestering about attending, show the text messages to the parents. Oh, that's a great point.
That's crazy. You never considered being like, I have evidence. I could prove my willingness to do. Did you just get here, OP? Did you just wake up one day? You were like, I'm conscious.
So I think just some of our comments are a little bit out of order because the last comment literally talked about showing texts to the parents and how drama ensued. So now we're gonna go back again. That's a great point, says OP. I showed parents. Mom asked what I did to him to deserve this, and I kind of had to explain that in the end it's their decision. And dad is silent, but I have no doubt that dad is going to support him and still sponsor the wedding in part. I have shared it with the fam, so I won't be getting backlash for not being there, and also got some counseling from older generations, which helps. What has the rest of the family thought about this situation in the text messages? OP says, aside from the parents, mainly saying I don't deserve this and applauding me being the bigger person and offering to buy a flexible ticket. But also from the jump saying I shouldn't go because it really felt to everyone like I'm not invited. And that is the end of that story. So I guess we're not going. I guess OP just kind of accepted that and is not going and is just going to stay in their other country forever.
Yeah, and made it so that it's not, a exilable offense from the family.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of that story. And the end of this episode, thank goodness. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
I didn't want one person at my wedding, but they already assumed they were coming.
And that means you're legally obligated to have them there.
My fiance and I are getting married soon, and her sister is her bridesmaid. However, sister-in-law won't come to the wedding if her boyfriend, Nick, isn't invited or welcomed. I don't know Nick very well, but what I heard and know about him, I'm not very keen on having him in our wedding. By the way, this comes from JDX2, and if you want to see my own stories, you know where to go. My name is Riley.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to read stories goofily, and you're here to comment your own experiences down below and thoughts. Opie says, when we announced that we were getting married, and before we invited anyone, Nick invited himself. That rubbed me already the wrong way. Nick's reason was that he hasn't been to a lot of weddings yet. For context, my wedding will be the first wedding I'll attend, so his reason is not that strong in my opinion. He already tried to come unannounced to our home when my sister-in-law was staying there for an internship she had and expected us to be fine with it. In hindsight, I shouldn't be that surprised that he invited himself. Furthermore, my in-laws don't want him to be left at home. Their home is also where he lives, because they don't trust him to be left alone there. So when Nick comes to my house, I'll have to keep an eye out, which will probably cause more stress on that day. Has anyone talked to the sister-in-law about her boyfriend?
Yeah, I mean, can we set like a trap for this guy? Like a little trail of breadcrumbs, Hansel and Gretel style, where it just like kind of leads him somewhere else.
Okay, hear me out. I like this train of thought. Nick, we ran out of batteries. Can you go to the nearest store and get some?
Yeah. Oh, what kind of batteries?
Don't worry about it. Just grab some batteries.
Oh, any batteries?
Any batteries.
at
Just
all?
go. Leave. All right, now
Okay.
get in your car. Go.
I get in my car.
Oh!
Oh no! Car accident, orchestrated, Batman style.
No. Pop.
Oh, tire blown out. Tire blown out. There we go.
For my fiance, family is really important, and that's why I'm torn on this question. I know that it's my wedding too, but my fiance will be heartbroken if her sister isn't there because Nick isn't invited. So would I be the a-hole if I didn't invite him, resulting in my sister-in-law not being there and therefore ruining my fiance's happiness? Verdict, he's the a-hole. Guys, real quick, a-hole or not the a-hole?
I mean, this guy just sounds like mildly annoying. Yeah, you should totally just deal with this guy's presence. It's not like you have to like just be right next to him and entertain him alone the entire time.
Agreed. And plus, at weddings, even if you're an introvert, you invite people. That's just how it goes. How long have they been dating? If they've been dating for 3 months, you can maybe say you can't come. But if he's already living there,
There was more like egregious reasons why he shouldn't be there. I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, don't invite him, but it's going to create more trouble than it's worth. You're going to end up with bigger headaches if you don't invite him than you would if you just deal with the headache of him being there for one day. That's it.
some people ask for a little bit more information. Why I don't want him to be there and what my fiance is thinking of him. My fiance is on the same page as me if we're talking about Nick. She also find it quite impolite that he just invited himself before we sent out the invitations. Still haven't sent them. We did talk about not inviting him. However, her dislike of him is less than her love for her sister and wants him to be there if that means that sister is there. I still haven't made a choice in this matter. That's why I made this post. We're still thinking about having no plus ones because of restrictions, so he'll be the exception in that case. Yes, he does live with my in-laws, however. He never asked, and they never agreed.
So he just kind of like refused to leave.
I'm starting to get it now. He's an infestation. He's not a guest.
He's parasitic in nature.
He just slept there one night and never left. He's also controlling. Like my sister-in-law has to go where he's going and the other way around. And she cannot wear spicy cloth. Her words. I think he doesn't trust her to go to a wedding alone. My biggest reason for him not to be there is that he took stuff from my in-laws, and when confronted, he didn't make a big deal out of it. Update! Although my post didn't receive that much attention, dude, shut up. We get all the time, all of this post blew up. Oh, all these great things happened. Just say what's happening. I wanted to make a proper update to close it after we got married, and to reply to the people that took time to comment on my post. After I came home that evening, I showed the post to my then fiance as we both had a laugh at how awful I was in the post. She told me that I need to work on relying information better. That was a big mistake on my part to not better describe the problem in my post. She also told me that she also doesn't want him at the wedding and that we're on the same page. However, she said that she wanted her sister to be there more than she didn't want Nick to be there.
Yeah, that's the math. That's the math problem on that one.
I said that I accepted the judgment, as people pointed out that Nick would probably dig his own grave, and that it would cause more drama to not invite him. I wanted my sister-in-law there more too. So we put him on the guest list, and once the invites were ready to send out, we sent one to him. We got confirmation from sister-in-law that both of them were going to be there. We made plans with him in it and proceeded as usual. By the way, you can proceed to listen to more stories like this on your favorite audio. Search also OK Storytime. But there's the good part. What good part of the story is there?
The good part is that the marriage happened. The good part is we're doing the marriage. The marriage is marriaging.
What do you think, Vincent? What's the good part of this story?
That they're continuing to just not let it destroy their day, I guess. Like let them have. They're not letting it affect them too much.
But here's the good part. 2 days before the wedding, my in-laws arrived from France, but Nick wasn't there with him.
Well, where would he be?
They told us he didn't want to get vaccinated and he didn't want to get tested before they were going. You need to show a negative test or proof of vaccination before entering to the Netherlands. We told them 2 months in advance, and they either were vaccinated or tested. But Nick didn't want to. We looked at each other and asked ourselves if we should be pissed because we had everything planned or happy that he wasn't there. In the end, we couldn't give a crap because we were too tired at that point. We had a lovely sunny day with the people we loved, including sister-in-law. Holy cow, he did dig his own grave. Holy cow. Wow.
Well, now he's going to stay behind. He's going to steal all the stuff out of that house, and he's going to disappear. That was the long con. He was waiting. He's waiting for a large family get-together in which he would stay behind due to travel restrictions, and he's going to empty out the entire house and sell it on
Craigslist.
Do they have that in Europe? Do they have European Craigslist?
I think they were in America and they had to travel for a
To
destination.
Denmark?
wedding.
Oh, I just assumed that they would-
Netherlands.
I mean,
France.
What?
What?
Netherlands is its own place.
I know, but he said France.
Oh, is he in France?
It said France.
Netherlands, France?
It said Netherlands.
Maybe it
and
could be
France.
like Netherlands and France.
Here we go. My in-laws arrived from France. Oh, they're French.
Les France.
All right.
Les France.
Well, that's the end of that story, folks.
I got a shut up ring, so I walked away.
Surprise, here comes the bride.
This community was a real light for me when I was in the thick of it. And I'm going to skip this. Okay. I wanted to share my story and hope it finds who it needs to find today to maybe give them encouragement. By the way, this comes from Fantastic Sale 3447. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. Also, I'm no longer with my ex-partner, and I'm also not engaged now, so I don't have it all figured out. I think it's important to share that I'm so happy now, because sometimes I roll my eyes at people who come back to my post about advice only after they've gotten engaged. Here's my story. My ex-partner and I, let's call him Tim, were together for about 9 years. What I couldn't see then, but I can see now, was that there was a pattern of non-commitment from day one. Tim took about a year to commit to being my boyfriend. At the time, I chalked it up to us being young and in college, but the pattern continued. Fast forward to post-grad, and we were both employed and doing really well. Even still, he found excuses. He needed to be promoted first, then was promoted, and then a new excuse would arise. Then he claimed it was money, yet he bought himself a new car and motorcycle. I stood my ground a few times, we would break up, and then I'd backslide and get back together. After 9 years of tug-of-war, we did get engaged, and it was 100% a shut-up ring. I was hopeful that that was the magic trick that would make me feel whole. It wasn't. He wasn't involved in the wedding planning, and everything felt wrong. A lot of other things happened in our relationship, and eventually I called the wedding off. Everything was booked already, and it was really terrifying. The months following, I did feel like I was passing away and having to lose someone I did love, but ultimately knew wasn't the best for me, nor for me. Wasn't the best for me, nor for him. I also worried about losing friends since our friend group was so enmeshed, and losing his family, who I knew so well, all of the things. Healing took a long time. Therapy, good friends, volunteering, and rediscovering who I was through hobbies, being okay to be alone. It took all those things. Also, the key was no contact. Fast forward almost 2 years after breaking off the engagement, I had actually found someone new. I was not looking. It was one of those things I can only now see was a sweet, invisible string waiting for me to find. My ex knew this and showed up to my house to re-propose and brought all the things I had once said would be my dream proposal. It hurt for many reasons. If he wanted to, he would. He's only doing this because he can't have me. He doesn't care about my happiness. He knows I'm healed and moved on and is willing to jeopardize that. All that to say, I stood my ground and denied him and told him I was with someone new. There was a small fear in me to be like, wait, am I going to say no to what I always dreamed of for the potential of this new partner? But then I realized I wasn't saying no for the potential of the new partner. I was saying yes to maintaining this new version of me. This version of me was joyful and liked herself and didn't realize how much that old relationship had made me dull and insecure. So I feel like I broke a curse. I'm no longer obsessed with getting married because I don't see it as something that will validate my worth, but will be something to celebrate my love with my partner. I don't get upset seeing other engagements. I'm overjoyed for them. So yes, now I'm with a lovely person who's got the best version of me, a woman who knows her worth and claims it. I've set high standards and he met them each without me asking. He's even told me about his plans to propose, though I've never initiated that conversation, and I'm not even worrying about it. It's a complete 180. So hopefully I'll have an engagement to share one day. But also if I don't, that's okay, and that's the point. I hope you, if you find yourself not being fully you, fully vibrant, check in on the relationship you're waiting on. They may just be keeping you from the most magical version of yourself, and maybe an amazing partner too, who will be everything you want and more. And there are some comments. WIBTA says, what is it with men who won't commit in motorcycles? When I was going through it with my ex, he was also like, I make so much money, but I'm not financially stable enough for a ring. I do want to buy a motorcycle soon, though. That doesn't quite make sense.
No.
Also, congrats on getting out of there. It can be hard. Purple Fat Nose says, the fact is that Tim only proposed so he can tell himself, well, hey, I tried my best. She's the problem. Before he goes to sleep every night. OP says this. He for sure did it to evade guilt and convince others he was the victim. And update 3 months later. But before we get into that one, do you have any thoughts?
What are your thoughts on marriage
Just in general?
in general?
I want to get married one day.
Yeah.
But like at like 30 something.
Yeah. When like it's two adults
Yeah.
and we're like, or not we, but like I'm thinking with me and my girlfriend. We've been together also almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And like we've had these conversations.
Absolutely.
So like I feel for where you're coming from and like having
Yeah,
that
they were
long-
9 years.
Yeah, but we've also right now it depends on like well right now we're both working on like career stuff.
Absolutely.
Life. And then marriage is a celebration of that life at least for me, that life we built together and will continue to build.
Yeah, you want that stability before you
Yeah.
look into building something with another person.
Yeah. And I like especially like diving into that young or I guess they've been together for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know with the committal stuff. Yeah, that's a red flag if he's not if he's not having that conversation or he's like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." But he's
Or
also
only had it because he thought she was going to leave him.
yeah.
Because that's not good either. If one
Uh-huh.
person really wants to get married and one person's not ready, and the only reason that you propose is because the other person wants it, then it's also not great.
Yeah. And like I get the like anxiety about money
Mm-hmm.
because like looking at divorce rates and everything, money is a issue. Like money is
Absolutely.
one of the main things that contributes to that. But also he's buying cars. He's buying
Yeah.
like he's not spending it on like
It's not
this
putting in
thing that you create
savings or
together.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it seems like all of his stuff is to fund his own lifestyle and not a shared one.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Update 3 months later. My fiance, the new partner from the post, proposed to me a few weekends back. It was truly the most magical, surreal thing. He did it on a trip and did it during the beginning of the trip so we could enjoy and celebrate the whole time together. I've been reflecting on how wonderful this dating engagement experience has been. Here are some things I used to believe when I was the waiting for wed version of me, compared to what I believe now. A proposal is synonymous with an engagement. I must conjure up signs and clues that indicate he is going to propose. Proposals can be a surprise, but the engagement shouldn't. I genuinely used to think that a guy would just propose and there was no agreement or understanding beforehand on the process. I'm sure this is the case for some. In my case, we've been informally engaged for some time, and the fun part was having him surprise me with a beautiful proposal. In the prior relationship, I would be left in the dark and clue hunting and tea leaf reading. With my fiance, we agreed that we wanted to take this next step, and then he asked me how much I wanted to know about the process so we could agree on the surprises. I told him I wanted to know when he got the ring, and when he asked my family for their blessing. Outside of that, surprised me. What I loved about this was he removed any anxiety, and instead it was fun anticipation. Second thing that OP originally thought, getting engaged matters to me, not my boyfriend. It's not something guys care about. What OP knows now, my partner should have just as much enthusiasm as I do about the engagement. Next thing OP thought, my friends and families don't love my partner because they don't get it. Our love is deep and complicated, and it's us against the world. OP now knows. My friends and family will be thrilled when it's the right person. What OP thought originally, my partner isn't good at gift giving or planning. Those aren't his love language, and that's why he hasn't XYZ. And OP now knows, regardless of my partner's love language, they are capable, caring, and value the details because they know it's important to me. Once we get engaged, these issues or that gnawing feeling that this isn't right will go away. Waiting on the ring is our only issue. A ring will not magically change your relationship. But you know what will change your life? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story, but do you have any thoughts that you can provide about love, relationships, marriage?
Yeah, marriage is what you want. Is what you want it to be. It's not what you want. It's not what other people want it for you. Anything like that. It should be a celebration of what that couple is. What your couple is. Yeah, that's what I can think of at the moment. You?
I agree. I think that I don't think there's ever a rush to get married, but I think you should be having, especially around that time. You know, like after a couple years, I think it's, especially if you're older, you know, like when you're in your 20s or something and it's been like a 4-year relationship, probably have talked about it maybe, but it's like it's coming later. But like it should be talked about, it should be discussed. It shouldn't be something that, you know, is just kind of under the surface festering.
Yeah.
Be on the same page. And maybe, you know, maybe you've talked about like how you guys never want to get married or like get that all out in the open.
Yeah. Also, living together before marriage, thoughts on that?
I personally am big on that. I want to at least, I feel like my timeline, it probably varies, but like after 2 or 3 years of being in a relationship, I'd love to start living with the partner. Depends on, you know, like obviously I live in my workplace, so it, you know, might not work out exactly on that timeline. But then I would want to live with my partner for at least 2 years.
Yes.
Before any marriage talk, you know, before getting married or anything.
I agree. I highly recommend living with your partner. That way you guys know each other's, just if your living style is compatible.
Exactly. Because it could be so different. And then you find out. So, I mean, I think you just also find out a lot about a person
and
yourself when you live with them. Just like even with roommates, like you always find, like I feel like people always have crazy roommate stories.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't usually find that out until after like a year or something of living with that person.
Yeah, because when you move in with someone, it's honeymoon phase.
Yeah, they're perfect.
And they're on their best behavior. Spend enough time with someone, go through the darker times, the low times when everything isn't sunshine and rainbows, and they're still your person. Heck yeah.
OP continues, I write all this because, as I said in my original post, I have the biggest soft spot for those waiting to wed. It's an incredibly isolating, confusing, and difficult place to be. I hope this post gives some encouragement and makes them stand up for their worth and wants. I also wanted to share an update because I received so many kind words on my original post and wanted to share how it all shook out. And we do have some comments. Comment 1 says, good for her. Her current partner sounds lovely. Also, now that she's engaged, her ex-boyfriend will probably be married within the next 6 months too. Reply says, even better. He thinks that's going to make OP chase after him once again when blatantly ignoring how indifferent she is towards him for years. Comment 2 says, excellent story and update. I don't know her, but I'm so proud she had the guts to cancel her wedding and walk away when she realized it wouldn't fix a bad relationship and magically give her happiness. Comment 3 says, oh, thank God that she stopped obsessing over getting engaged and getting married. I suspect that was a big part of how her ex was able to string her along. And that is the end of that story. I want to turn my boyfriend's grandfather's ashes into a wedding ring.
That is Kind of creative.
And this comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit.
Oh.
Hello, Reddit. I've got an odd one here. So here's the story. My 29 female boyfriend, 27 male, and I met almost 2 years ago, and we've been official since May 2024. I've had an unstable living situation, so I moved in with him pretty fast, and he lived with his dad and grandpa.
Oh.
I don't have a lot of extended family myself, no grandparents that I was ever able to meet, so I was happy to be so warmly welcomed by strangers with good hearts.
Aw.
By the way, this comes from SadPickle525, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the
We
answers.
don't.
We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, his dad has a drinking problem. His grandpa was on dialysis, and my boyfriend spent almost his entire childhood in the foster care system before meeting his dad and grandpa at 18.
Right.
He didn't have a good relationship with his dad and held a lot of resentment toward him for how he grew up, but he loved his grandpa. It didn't take long for me to love his grandpa myself, and after only 2 months, I loved that cranky old man.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he had a heart attack.
No.
That's
Don't
terrible.
Don't make us fall in love with someone and then they pass
Yeah.
away. Stop.
It's like Up.
His grandfather's passing hit him hard, and I've done all that I know how to do. Being there to listen, letting him cry it out, and hugging him.
Aw.
Before he passed away, I took photos of them together. After he passed away, our very first Christmas, I gifted him one of those lockets you can peek into to see the photo of him and his grandpa together.
Aw. Aren't those like for couples though?
No, you can put it like any family member if you like.
To any loved one.
Make it just like a memory.
It could be a pet.
Yeah, a lot of people do pets. Don't
long as
rain
the
on
picture-
their parade.
Okay, as long as the picture is like the grandpa holding like a turtle or
No, it's
something.
he's shirtless.
Yeah, Vincent said it's like the OG screensaver.
At a celebration of life, we each got a portion of his ashes in a small glass jar the size of my pinky, and it sits like a knickknack on his TV stand.
Oh wow.
Now that brings me to the present.
Okay.
I love this man more than words.
Aw.
We've been through the hard times together, and my becoming homeless and him helping me get on my feet. Him, well, us, but mostly him, losing his grandpa while I've been the emotional rock, working through bad habits and getting better jobs and becoming self-sufficient adults. So here it is. Marriage is not an if, it's a when.
Oh.
And we plan to be engaged within the year. And yes, that has been openly communicated between the both of us regarding our wants and expectations in that regard.
Real question.
Yeah.
Should you have that conversation or should it
Absolutely.
be like a surprise?
No. You should always have the conversation, but not necessarily say like when and where.
Yeah, but then it kind of takes away the the surprise factor.
Sometimes you don't need the surprise. Sometimes they just know.
Yeah, I don't think you have to surprise them with like you're getting married. I think you surprise them with like the event.
Oh, Vincent has a take, and we need to connect that anyway, so. Vincent.
So what I say, like what I've heard is getting engaged isn't the surprise; it's the like proposal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So normally, like if you're gonna get engaged to someone, you guys both know you're both end game, but the big surprise is how you do it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So like if it's too much of a surprise, then we're in trouble. It's like, oh no.
You don't want "oh no" to be the
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that being said, here's my idea. And I would really appreciate all the feedback I can get before I make any rash decisions.
Oh boy.
By the way, you can make rash decisions like listening to full episodes of stories just like this.
Yeah.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search OK Storytime.
Yeah.
But there is a wee bit left to this story. Any final thoughts or advice?
I know where she's going with this. Her idea. Never heard of this before.
I need to read what the idea is and then give the advice. I was thinking about Pops not being there to watch his grandson get married, and it's been gnawing at me that when the time finally comes, the day will be happy, but there will be an ache from the missing spot that Pops left behind. So in these little jars sits some of the ashes of his grandpa, and I found sites that turn ashes into different things. I was considering having my jar sent in to be turned into his wedding band. It would symbolize our love, but it would also be a way that, regardless, Pops would quite literally always be with them. I'm literally tearing up right now thinking about it. It sounds perfect to me in my head, but I also want to make sure I see every side of this before I do something like that. So I really need as much input as I can get. Thank you for reading this far, and thank you even more if you give me insight on this idea.
It's one of our own, too, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
I think it's cute, but I
don't know. The only thing,
I would just worry about
His response and how he would react. Yeah.
a ring is like a
Yeah.
symbol of love.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the grandpa doing in that?
Yeah, honestly, I would probably, if I were in this situation, I would probably ask him.
I would ask him, hey, could we take your
Yeah.
grandfather's ashes And do you want to turn it into something that symbolizes like that you can wear forever, like a ring or even a necklace?
Like a ring.
Because sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I think asking him is the best way to go about this. Just if you really want to be sure, because I can't say how he'll react. None of us know how he'll react.
That could maybe go the opposite way. It might tick him off because
Yeah.
you're like, how dare you do that to, you know, in the remembrance of my grandpa kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might he might really think it's a great idea, but the only way you can find out.
Yeah, I think asking, because I really don't know how he would react.
Have you guys seen those weird like they do ashes, but they also do like people have done their own blood
Yeah.
in like a vial or like
Wait. Doing what?
like give their partner like jewelry like that.
Into the jewelry?
Yeah,
So you can clone them.
or something.
A lot of people are saying I love that idea. I would, if my partner did this, I would love that. I really think it is case to case. and I
Serenity
think-
says that would gross me out. So
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. I think that you kind of
Grandpa.
have to ask to be sure.
Yeah, that's a new one, dude. The things you can do with technology nowadays, kind of scary. Theoretically, I could have my hand chopped off,
Yeah.
put into an ash, and I could give that. I'd be like, you have a piece of me everywhere you go, and I put that into the jewelry and make that a diamond.
But that is also the end of the story.
Wow.
And we have some comments to read. These comments come from the video Bridezilla discarded me after using me for her wedding. And this was posted November 22nd, 2025.
Nice.
TLDR, OP grew up best friends with the couple and was asked to be a co-maid of honor and help plan their wedding. She ended up organizing almost every event, spending tons of money, and running around nonstop. At the wedding, she was humiliated, kicked out, and replaced in the bridal party, and blocked by the couple. In the end, OP had more fun with other guests and realized she was better off without them.
Oh yeah.
If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. And we've got some
Get our full
comments.
reactions
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I remember this story, and they all made fun of like she was used completely.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
because I think they were all like really rich.
Oh,
lovely.
Awful.
Someone had like rich friends, and they like had one person that they just give money to all the time. Like it was like their dog. They were like, oh, go do this, go do that. Ha ha. Ha.
That's terrible.
May Rabbit 1 says, should have sued for money spent on travel, the room, dress, and emotional trauma. And I think we also said that. That's super messed up. And wages lost. They premeditated using you and having you travel there fully knowing they were not going to let you go to the wedding. They even had like a doorman or like a security guy, like a check with a checklist. And she wasn't on
But
the
she
list.
wasn't on? Dang, that's terrible.
That's so weird.
I think the one that stuck with me is they were on like because on the list, like they go to like a private island or like some island for the actual venue, and they're taking boats, and everyone's on the boats, and they're all like I think the groom and the groomsmen are all sitting on the boat, pointing at OP and laughing at her at the
That's
dock.
terrible. Oh my god, that's like a nightmare.
It would, and yeah, we were like, whoa, that's brutal.
Go to the video if you want to know more.
Cat's Treat 9434 says, the wedding planner OP, you aren't allowed a lawyer in small claims. You have to represent yourself.
Oh wow.
There are a few exceptions, but this situation does not apply. She should absolutely have sued them for the cost of the dress that they stole
Yeah,
and the cost of her flights and accommodations since she traveled there due to their false declaration.
absolutely.
She had an invitation to the wedding, but was refused entry. She paid for the tickets, hotels, the hotel room, and worse than nothing, since it was used by the cousin. Yeah,
Oh
they
my
replaced her
gosh.
with a cousin that, yeah.
Awful.
Golly.
Oh my god, these people are a nightmare.
Yikes.
Soulchild137 says, literally raging over how they treated OP in the first story. Very hurtful and messed up. Hope some sort of justice happens eventually. And I think OP just like, I'll move on. I'll try and get a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
There's I feel like it's so hard in that situation to prove.
And the final comment here by Amazing Grace XOXO1. I can't believe there are such disgusting people in the world. The first story left me so angry. Yeah, there was no resolution. OP was like, I'm so sad. And then she just partied with some hotel guests that were like more inclusive to her than the entire wedding.
Well, I hope OP is okay.
Me too.
But that's the end of those comments.
My friends told me to just take a joke, so I left.
And you took the joke with you.
I, 24 male, recently went no contact with the entirety of my friend group because of one person. For the better part of a year, I've been dealing with drama surrounding one person in my friend group we'll call Garrett. By the way, this comes from user SnowSelect4793, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So tell us your answers that you have down in the comments. And OP says, to friends a few years ago, We never quite saw eye to eye because I felt he was rude and disrespectful to me, which was always played off as a joke or me being dramatic, and he felt I was unable to take a joke and always freaked out over little things. Last year, one of our friends got married in a different city, so I invited all the groomsmen, myself and Garrett included, to my parents' house, as they live in the same city as the wedding. After the wedding, the groomsmen and I returned to my parents' house for some more drinks. While drinking in the garage, Garrett disappeared into the house. A few minutes later, I received a frustrated phone call from my mother, who had been woken up by some kid throwing up in her kitchen sink all over her dishes. It was Garrett. Garrett attempted to clean this mess by spraying water all over my mother's kitchen island and leaving chunks of vomit in her sink. He never apologized to me or my mother for this and was gone before anyone woke up the next day. Now, I understand he may have been embarrassed and felt uncomfortable or unwelcome, but when it was brought up a few days later, his response was, "Yeah, I don't give a F. I'm never going to see her again anyways." This was the first time I truly felt that this person had genuinely no respect for myself or anyone near to me. A couple months passed, and the dynamic between us began to deteriorate more rapidly. That ended with a few exchanges and essentially me saying, basically, we were never really that good of friends, and things you said to me that I told you I didn't appreciate, you continued to say, and that has caused me to have no desire to see or speak to you again. I hope you have a good life. And that was seemingly the end of it, until 2 months ago. I was playing League of Legends, I know, I'm sorry, with some friends when he joined and said, "Hey, fat boy, you effing your girlfriend good? Tubby butt R word that you are, LMFAO." Now, keep in mind, I hadn't spoken to or about this person for the better part of 6 months. After this, I told my best friend, the person I met Garrett through, that I would not be in his wedding party nor at his wedding due to Garrett and his behavior. I also told the entirety of my friend group that if they continued to stay in contact with Garrett, I would no longer be speaking to them either. These are friends I've had for the better part of a decade and truly hurt to see go, but one by one, they continued to speak to, hang out with, and vouch for Garrett. I feel as though the disrespect I had to deal with and put up with was not acknowledged by my friends, and the severity of things said was disregarded.
I do feel as though, bless you, you kind of gave those friends up. Like, it's kind of an a-hole move to withdraw from a friend of a decade's wedding.
Just because there's
Because,
one,
like,
I mean,
You're
there-
so deep into it that you've had the bachelor party. Like, that means the wedding's close. You can't just expect him to, like, choose in this
Yeah.
moment of his groomsmen.
Yes, it's hard, but you know, in a situation like this, I always say that like if you just completely, remove yourself. I mean, I think it's more from a matter of like respect for OP. It's like his friends like didn't care that this guy like doesn't like him at
I
all.
could understand that for sure. He's being a total a-hole all the time.
But it's like we just need to learn to be good to how to be like, all right, yeah, shut up, Garrett. And then like that's the weight of Garrett's words should be a feather. They shouldn't weigh anything. They're just the words of a dumb guy.
It is also wild, though, that this whole friend group actually wants to continue to hang out with Garrett
Yeah.
when he's straight up said this stuff to, like, OP's mom and, like,
Yeah.
OP consistently.
Yeah, I think it does. It's totally fair to like want to pull back and disengage, even from the friend group, like
Yeah.
because of this. But like the wedding does make it more complicated.
Yeah. I also think that if you're the one that, like, steps back, you can't be surprised if you, like, fully distance yourself from all of them, that they're not gonna be around much.
Right.
I don't know. It's tough.
Which
'cause
I
they
think that's
should-
okay for OP. OP's like, if you're gonna be friends with this guy, I don't really want to be friends with you. I just
Yeah.
think you could probably make all this after the wedding if you're in the wedding party and stuff.
But if you're really done, you're done sometimes, so...
Garrett is an individual who genuinely wants the worst for me, and if the roles were reversed, I would not be around someone who hopes terrible things happen to my friend regardless of our history. So am I the a-hole for not going to my best friend's wedding and cutting off my friends over one person? There are some comments. Comment 1 says, not the a-hole. He crossed the line over and over, and you're allowed to walk away when people don't respect you. Comment 2 says, not the a-hole. You'll find better friends. Comment 3 says, "Not the a-hole. Those aren't your real friends. Real friends would be just as upset as you are. You are who you surround yourself with, and they choose to surround themselves with Garrett. So it says a lot more about them." Comment 4 says, "This dynamic is horrible, as he won't pick on the rest of your friends, as he probably perceives them as higher status. You're easier to bully. It's a no-win situation, as he's nice to your friends, so they can't see the issue. Cutting them off and starting fresh is probably the only answer. I had this exact situation. The only way it resolved is I ended up standing against the guy. After that, he never insulted me again, to my face at least, and kept his distance when in group situations." Comment 5 says, "No, you had more courage than me when someone disrespected me, and the friend group I was in stood by that person who wasn't part of the group, but they acted like he was. Worse, they all disrespect my parents' house repeatedly. Still, I tried to make friends with them until I didn't anymore. Wish I had your guts." And by the way, you can have our guts if you go listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can have our guts. And we do have a final update here.
Yeah. I don't think I would in any context say that OP's an a-hole. Because I've been pushed to the point of being like, I'm so just like over, and like maybe I've learned by now, but like just so over like the same person just like coming at me kind of thing. I'm a little sensitive, but maybe I wouldn't have dropped out of the wedding. That's where I'm like, that part rubs me wrong, but I don't think that you're an a-hole for it.
No, I think you just reached a breaking point.
Yeah.
It does kind of suck that you're going to pull out of the wedding for the friends that you do, like, say, or like you've been friends with them for such a long time. I just think that maybe we could have done this in a way that got us a better outcome. Because you can just, like, you would be not in the wrong for being like, well, I'm going to cut this guy out. And then if anyone wants to still be this guy's friend, I'm going to be cutting you out as well. But I think we could have achieved a more nuanced approach by being like, going to your friends instead of just being like, yes, and if you will continue, like, then I will, be done. And go to your friends and be like, hey, I'm not really going to try to be friends with Garrett anymore. I think moving forward, like, what do we think about that? Because he just really treats me terribly. And I think that just is a reflection on how he is.
Right. And do none of y'all see this?
Yeah, like...
Do none of y'all like my mother?
And if y'all don't, then that, I guess you don't. But, like, I'm not really going to be cool with him. But, like, we have, like, there's not always, like, logistically, like, just cutting that guy out and blowing up your entire friend circle might not be the best move. Best move might just be, like, let's just...
especially because if he sucks that much, like eventually everyone else is going to see, and Garrett will naturally just not be in the group.
I can see how my boundary was more or less an ultimatum, and I'm probably an a-hole for giving adults an ultimatum. My intention was to establish a boundary that people who facilitated and allowed this treatment of me were not my friends, and I didn't want to be around it anymore. As far as my friend's wedding, it would be impossible to avoid Garrett, as we were both planned to be in the wedding party. Also, I had cut contact with Garrett for about 6 months prior to his last message. In that time, I didn't comment on people's relationship with him because he truly became a non-factor in my life. The issue I had with the message was less the comments towards me and more how disrespectful he was towards my girlfriend. I hope this cleared things up. And that is the end of that story.
My fiance said I stopped looking interesting, so I ended our engagement.
I have so many questions about what that means.
Me, 26 female, and my fiance, 28 male, have been together for almost 5 years, engaged for 6 months. We've never had issues where one of us was mad for a long time until this. And he, my mom, and friends think that I'm overreacting. By the way, this comes from Veronica and herself, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Evan Mark Katz.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, I had a dream some nights ago that I ended up dating a famous actor by accident. We both had dreams where crazy things happened and told each other about it. I told him in the morning, and we laughed about it. However, he made a comment about how my dreams are always extremely delusional. I asked him to elaborate, thinking it would be something funny, and instead was met with a comment about how I wouldn't be capable of pulling someone half as attractive as said actor, let alone him. Ooh, I was taken aback, and he doubled down and told me to be realistic, that most men wouldn't even look my way because I look like I'm already taken and stopped looking interesting some time ago, and now even more with the engagement. He keeps digging his own grave.
I don't think this guy's ready. I think he's into you.
Yeah. I told him that I don't want any men to look my way, but the implication of his words hurt me. He told me it was irrelevant because we're together and I wouldn't leave him, and to stop being offended over something I asked, and left. Did you ask something? It feels like you were just telling him about your dream and then he made a really mean comment. Any thoughts so far?
I have thoughts. Should I interject my thoughts?
Please,
Because
yeah.
I have many thoughts about
Yeah,
this.
you can interject.
I think the easiest thing to do would be to take her side.
Yeah.
I want to know more because I could squint and I could see his point of view, and I'll explain why later.
All right. For the record, my weight, hair, and general appearance have stayed the same. And I'm low-key high maintenance, so this isn't me letting go or something. I called my mom for reassurance, and she agreed I was overreacting. I called my friends for the same purpose and was met with the same response. I feel very hurt because I love my fiancé and find him very attractive, and I know other people do too. I am grateful that he chose to be with me, and that makes me value him even more. I thought he thought the same about me, but apparently he thinks I wouldn't ever leave him because I can't pull anybody?
So one of the first observations I wanted to make is that the guy's, in a way, he's telling on himself.
Yeah.
In that he's like, you couldn't pull a hot celebrity, but apparently she could pull you.
Yeah.
So he's putting himself down in some way if he thinks that other people are above her league, but he's in her league, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an interesting way to think about yourself. That somehow is making me feel like he doesn't value me as I do. And worst of all, that I may be wrong for how I feel, but can't control it. Am I overreacting? If so, how can I manage this so this doesn't affect us long term? It's been almost a week, and he's still being short with me because I look like I'm miserable about a petty thing. I just want things to go back to normal. And we do have some comments, but do you have any more thoughts before we get into that?
My big thought, and again, this is bigger than this question, is the right answer and the true answer are not always the same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
A woman says, hey, do I look fat in this dress?
No.
Right. But it's not always the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. Some people don't like to lie. It's easier to tell the truth. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm defending him because he seems to be insensitive to the point of cruelty, but he's probably also telling the truth.
Yeah.
And she didn't ask for the truth. And that's
yeah,
and so we've got two things going on. A, she's probably hypersensitive if other people are telling her she is. And B, he's probably insensitive.
Yes.
And that's a tricky combo.
Yeah. I think also the thing that stood out to me is that she didn't ask the question like, oh, are you, do I look fat in this dress? She didn't even ask that question. She just said, I had a dream where I was with this hot person.
So this leads me to, may I tell a story?
Yes,
permission?
please.
Years ago, before streaming, there was a thing called blogs. And I had the world's biggest dating blog. I had 1 million people a month reading my blog. And I got a question that was a lot like this.
Yeah.
Right? I'm dating myself. It was a woman who said she was watching TV with her boyfriend. And she said that they saw Angelina Jolie on TV. And she goes to her boyfriend, I'm as hot as she is. And the guy was like,
ooh.
And she got really, really mad at him for telling the truth.
Yeah.
And so it's not the same situation.
Sure.
But who's more right and who's more wrong in that situation?
Yeah. That one's tough.
But it does beg a question because there's never been a guy who's like, tell me I'm as hot as Channing Tatum. I wouldn't say that. That would be silly.
Yeah.
But isn't that a level of insecurity that I need to
be as hot as that?
You're with me anyway. So that's again, I'm not forgiving his insensitivity, but I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're together and you're attracted to each other and you have a decent life, why would we go and compare ourselves to the sexiest people?
True. I think there is a way to kind of sidestep the question, in my experience, where when someone says, oh, I look, I don't like my weight. I don't like, do I look like this famous person? And you're like, well, you look
beautiful.
Oh, yeah, no, there's definitely
yeah.
better ways to answer. And
Yeah.
the right answer, I've been
Yes.
taught through lots of life experiences, right? It's the most affirming thing. Oh, no,
Yes.
Angelina doesn't hold a candle to you. And you
Yeah.
know it's a lie, and I know it's a lie. And
Yeah.
like, that's the pretty lie that we tell ourselves. And I think women tend to be better at that, speaking that second language of not always telling the truth to make people feel better. And men are not as
More
good
blunt.
at that, which is not a defense of it. We're an observation of the fact that that's one of the cruel differences between genders.
It's funny because my parents are the exact opposite. My mom is very blunt. She's the most blunt person I know. And I have to train her over my life to be less blunt to people. And my dad is more like, nice, like he'll compliment you, and
I think that's good.
yeah. But where was I? Comment 1. I don't know what your friends or mom are on, but I think that's an a-hole of a comment to make to your future wife. That's an insult if you ask me. Maybe I could have got past it if he apologized afterwards. Instead, he doubled down and said you're overreacting and should get over it. OP says, I felt insulted. However, they insist that he's just being playful and that I take things too personally. They also imply that it's irrelevant too, because I'm taken and don't need to pull anyone.
Is that the OP again?
That was
Yes.
OP saying
Okay.
this, yes. Comment 2 says, what? You stopped looking interesting some time ago? Sounds like he's trying to dent your self-esteem, to be honest. So you do think you can't do better and never leave him. Pretty negging thing of him to say, kind of demeaning to you as a woman. Interesting that your mom says you're overreacting. Were you raised by someone who also tried to take you down a notch? And edit to add, this is from OP again, the actor was Adam Driver. That's...
Keon had a reaction to that. You have a thing with Adam Driver?
It's just like out of all the people to dream
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
I-
that's true.
I never understood it, but I know people who are just like, man, Adam Driver is attractive. I'm like, I'm not yucking your yum. I was like, whoa. I was expecting like Brad Pitt,
I was expecting, someone different.
like
but-
Brad Pitt, Clooney, like the
Guys
top of
with
the top.
perfect facial features.
Yeah. But I feel like, Adam Driver is attractive, and I think a lot of people think he's attractive, but I feel like this guy didn't necessarily have to be like, you would never get with.
Like, because like Adam Driver seems like other than being like a great actor and he's very funny in person as well, is just like he's like looks like a standard guy. He
Yeah.
looks like a very normal guy.
I feel like you could get with Adam Driver. Edit to add, my closest friend group is a 4-girls group where I'm that only one with a relationship or that has been in one. Another detail someone messaged me to include, I do have other friends, but I haven't told them anything given the response I got from my closest circle. Finally, I have a long history of being super sensitive. So that's, I think, good to know. I've cried over minor things my whole life, which is why it is not surprising for my closest ones to immediately call me out on it. I'm in therapy addressing that, my pushover nature, and my self-esteem issues. Thank you to everyone that has commented and given me support and reassurance. I will be forcing him to talk to me today to see if this is in any way salvageable or if I just lost half a decade of my life. LOL. Ooh. And there is an update 2 months later. Do you have any other thoughts?
I mean, I'm semi. I mean, I feel bad for her,
Yeah.
but I'm semi delighted that I diagnosed it properly.
Yeah.
He's insensitive. She's hypersensitive. I think they could both stand
Yeah.
to be able
Meet
to
in the
communicate
middle.
a little bit better, but it's possible that this combination is not a healthy long-term combination
Yeah.
because of this very issue. It depends on both of them changing. She might just need a more sensitive, affirming guy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean this guy is the devil. He may be, but that one stray comment may or may not mean that. He definitely needs a woman with thicker skin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what incompatibility is. We can make him more wrong, and he probably is more wrong, but he's with a person who is working through her own sensitivity, doormat issues, and she probably just needs a nicer guy.
Yeah, it's like the exposure therapy all the
Yeah.
time with him,
Yes.
which is tough.
Especially this deep into the relationship where they're about to get engaged. You think they would at least know how to like not necessarily push every button, but like, all right, that's a boundary or that's like what we're crossing right here. But
I think water kind of finds its level.
yeah,
For a guy like that who's callous or cruel, I'm just being honest, guy, the only person who puts up with that is someone who doesn't have self-esteem to walk away, to push back.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how those people find each other. The story often goes, I attract toxic narcissists. I attract emotional. No, you're attracted to, you choose. And that's really hard because it's pretty easy to walk away from those things. But if you're very familiar with that dynamic, we are attracted to what's familiar. So she's going to keep on finding herself in relationship with crew guys that put her down. And the next time she finds a nice, sweet guy who tells her she's beautiful, she's going to be like, ugh.
It's too easy. Yeah. Update almost 2 months later. First, you gave me the courage to reach out to my other friends outside my closest circle, and they were shocked by what happened and told me not to brush it off. They echoed many of your comments and even called it negging too. Also, my therapist backed up my feelings and said I needed a straight up chat with my partner and to set some clear boundaries and decide what's best for me and what I wish to enforce as my non-negotiables. Second, I did follow someone's advice and started going out with my more supportive friends. My birthday actually fell in between these dates, and I decided to celebrate it by bar hopping in my city, and it went great. My ex was invited. We were still together at that point. Okay, so we know how the story ends. And was sulking the whole time because I did get external attention, which I shut down. Finally, what happened with my now ex? After talking with my therapist, I did explain my feelings to him again and reiterated that those comments will not be tolerated if we were to continue in the relationship. I also said we needed counseling as a couple because this could stem from insecurities from both sides. He did not apologize, but rather justified his actions under 3 arguments. And yes, these came from a 28-year-old man. Number 1. I do look less interesting, and it's unfair to use my birthday as an example of me attracting anyone because I was catfishing as a younger woman, as the girls I invited are mostly 22 to 24. That is an interesting argument. Number 2, Adam Driver, the actor I dreamt about, is taller than him. We're both 5'7", and he's insecure about it. So dreaming with people taller than him is disrespectful and emasculating. You can't really control your dreams.
Oh my God.
3, even if, his words, I'm objectively attractive, ever since I started therapy, I became cocky and more demanding. So he took the chance to bring me back to earth. Ooh. Those tell you a lot.
Right. Because couples are allowed to conflict and even say things, you never encourage someone to say something they regret, but who among us hasn't said something they regret?
Yeah.
It's how you recover from it.
Yeah.
So the problem with this guy is not just that he said something stupid and insensitive, it's that he's doubling down on a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest problem for this relationship, which is why it's no longer a relationship.
Absolutely, because that was quite the comeback.
I was gonna say, at this point, it's not even doubling down. It's like tripling down.
Yeah, he's
just
like,
one more chance.
You're ugly.
On the bright side, he's going to make someone else miserable one day.
Yeah, he'll keep it going. All of this was a shock to me. I felt as if this man I was with for the last 5 years was not there anymore. This was a complete 180 from what he was before, and I do believe is a mix of slipping off the mask after the engagement and the fact that he changed jobs to a male-dominated corporation, and those new friends did give me a weird vibe regarding their stance on women and equality. Regardless of what prompted this change, I ended it. Returned the ring, packed a bag with my essentials I had at his place, and left while he threw a tantrum. He was super uncooperative in returning some of my remaining stuff. He sent things in trash bags full of glitter and won't let me enter his apartment anymore.
Bullet dodged.
Yeah.
It's a missile.
Thank
This is a
goodness
missile
you
dodged.
didn't marry this guy. He also sent me all of the Star Wars movies with Adam Driver in them, broken and destroyed. That's so funny.
This is crazy.
That's so funny.
This guy's
Wow.
like, yeah, Adam Driver's my op now.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, Adam Driver. He starts messaging Adam Driver on Twitter. He's like, you ruined my relationship. Adam Driver's like, what? This made all of the pain I felt almost immediately disappear, which feels weird because I did love him. And it was a long relationship, yet I grieved for like a week only. I feel like when people really show you the worst side of them, it makes it a lot easier, at least in my experience, it makes it a lot easier to get over them.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to get angry and not just sad.
Yes, yeah.
This guy makes me angry.
He makes me mad. I did count my losses and just accepted some things I won't get back. Blocked him and haven't heard or seen him since. Thank God it's a big city. My immediate circle of friends was cut off as they valued more going to a wedding than my well-being. What? They can't get invited to any other wedding? Well, I guess you said none of them are in relationships, so I guess this was their only chance. I'm low contact with my mom and being supported by my dad and siblings. I've continued therapy, did a Friendsgiving celebration, and I'm bracing myself for the holidays with my family. I'm mostly okay, relearning to be on my own, to validate my feelings, and currently debating whether to send a thank you card to Adam Driver. Shoot your shot. Thanks everyone for reading. Happy holidays. And by the way, I want to thank you guys. If you're listening to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio to hear more and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit. Oh, there's another update actually 8 months later to finish us off. There's only a little bit
8
left.
months. When do you get these questions?
Oh,
the story's been going on for a year, and
yeah.
we're just reading it now.
I guess so. Yeah, we find like ones that have.
It's like a saga.
Yeah,
It's like a Star Wars movie.
Sometimes we find ones that that's true.
Say that again.
Yeah,
Say it
no,
again.
you need it again. Oh yeah, you even have the Star Wars shirt on.
I do.
Wow, you planned for this. But sometimes we get stories that have spanned like 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, because we try to aim for like longer ones that are meeting a certain word count. And so when you find ones that are parts,
I see.
it's better. But we'll finish this off. Update 2. Tomorrow I'll go on my first date in years. 8 months later. I'm both excited and anxious since it's been a while since I've done this. It's not like I don't know the guy. He's a childhood friend. We reconnected some time ago and just asked me for a date this week. We're going to an amusement park, one of my favorite activities, and a movie after. It's a weird feeling to feel these nerves and butterflies all over again as an adult. I haven't told anyone. I really want it to go well. Wish me luck. And that's the end of the story.
Okay.
Seems like she's doing good.
Glad she got to the other side of that one.
Yeah.
That sounds like would have been tough to stay in a relationship with that guy for the rest of her life.
Yeah. Certainly. And it does seem, having finished the story, that, I mean, she mentioned that he was 5'7" and insecure about it. It does seem that a lot of the comments, or it seems he might have been making a lot of comments digging at her physical appearance because he was insecure about himself.
Insecurity drives a lot of bad behavior.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy. He brought it up literally. He's like, Adam Driver's taller than me. Like, how dare he enter your dreams?
I
Very
went on,
weird.
before dating my boyfriend, I went on a lot of dates with people who were very, like, I always find it interesting that, like, going on initial dates with people who are very open about, like, talking about insecurities. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I'm overweight or I'm this. And you're like, why are you talking bad about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, and that's furthers my belief that dating is a skill.
Yeah.
I think the story for most people who have insecurities is that they'll dump it on a stranger and figure if that person sticks around, then they're going to accept me. I don't want them to discover what's wrong with me later, so I'm going to lead with my problems, and that's, you would never do that in a job interview.
No, yeah, it's not like, oh, my weaknesses, I'm going to tell you exactly what my weaknesses are. It's like, you should be wording your weaknesses as straight, strengths.
Yeah, there's a measure of marketing that goes on and when you tell certain aspects of your stories. So,
like pointing out physical things. It's like, I see you, I'm here.
Yeah.
So
now you're telling me I have bad taste because I find you attractive?
Yeah, it's weird. But OP seems like she's got a new guy who's better. So good job. But we have one more story.
I refused to give up my dream wedding dress despite my in-laws not attending.
Well, I wouldn't give it up either. I want the dress and I'm wearing it.
I'm in a lot of turmoil right now, and it feels like everything is falling apart. I have never had a great relationship with my future mother-in-law. It isn't terrible, but I can sense that she doesn't like me. My fiancé is very close to his family, so there has been some tension. By the way, this comes from user Throwaway Am I the A-hole Bride? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And OP says, I didn't invite mother-in-law to a wedding dress shopping because our relationship is awkward, but I thought I would show her a picture to make her feel included. My dress is a beautiful, flowy, beachy dress.
Fun.
We've got an official fun rating.
Fun.
2 funs up. But not technically a wedding dress and could be ordered in color. I bought it from a small local boutique that we both love. Mother-in-law said that I can't wear that dress because she bought the same one for her 50th birthday, which is 2 weeks after my wedding. Mother-in-law does have the dress, though in a mint green color. There is enough detailing that it is clearly still the same dress. And she has the receipt to prove she got it first. Lavish birthday parties are a thing in our circle, so I know she has invested serious time and money into this party. I said that I'm still going to wear the dress, despite the fact I could easily return it with no loss, because I didn't do this out of malice, and I love it. Mother-in-law said if she wears it 2 weeks after I do, everyone is going to think she is pathetic and copying her son's wife. I said, sorry, but not really my problem. Everyone has gone crazy since I said that. His entire side of the family and the friends mother-in-law invited have all backed out of the wedding. So like 15 people. And it will be noticeable. His sisters were supposed to be in the wedding party on his side, but dropped out and have blocked him on everything.
Wow.
Over a dress that either of you could look. 50th birthday party, wedding. The wedding is more important than your 50th birthday, right?
And also, like, who cares? Because, they're making a big deal over a dress, and now they're, like, taking sides, and people are actually canceling going to the wedding, including the bridal party. That's insane. Just because
Yeah.
over this dress that this girl wants to wear for her wedding. Who
Well, yeah.
cares?
Well,
Let me wear the
don't you
dress. It's my
know?
wedding.
If mother-in-law wears the same dress in a different color, don't you know what everyone's gonna think about her? We all have
Yeah,
to be worried
nothing.
about what everyone's gonna think about her.
And plus, they're two separate colors. Like, I mean, it is the same dress, but in two different colors, but who cares?
Truly nobody. I wouldn't care or think about it.
If someone is wearing the same dress as me to my wedding for some reason, yeah, I care. But, like, 2 weeks after, it's like, none of this even matters.
If you're hanging out with the kind of people who would make this a big deal, you're just not hanging out with the right people.
Yeah, and the fact that everyone cancels is just, like, outrageously stupid.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, taking it a whole nother step that doesn't even need to be that big of a deal.
His stepdad won't talk to him and says he regrets raising him and he isn't a real man because a real man would stand up for his mom.
Wow.
His bio dad is even on mother-in-law's side, which doesn't surprise me because they are good friends, but he called us up to shame us the other night. My fiance is hurting and found out his family had a big beach day and invited everyone but him. He called mother-in-law and they talked, but didn't come to a resolution. She said if I refuse to do the right thing, the only answer is no one's going to her party that can go to the wedding. He tried calling sister-in-law and found out she blocked him. He is mad at me now and feels like she had it first. Am I the a-hole here?
I don't think you're the a-hole. It's your wedding. You can wear whatever dress you want. And then also the fact that, like, this guy, like, or this mother-in-law, like, it's two separate events. So why does it matter? If she was coming to the party, like, if she was coming to the wedding wearing that dress but in a different color, yeah, that'd be a bigger issue. But these are two separate things, 2 weeks out from each other. No one's gonna notice or care. I don't know. Like, in the fact that it has to be like, oh, well, we're boycotting the wedding now. That is
Yeah.
so childish. Over a dress, over this is my day. And then, that's your day. And guess what? We can still have the same taste on 2 different days.
Oh, well, if we both end up wearing the same dress to these different events, everyone's going to think I'm pathetic and I'm a loser. So I'm going to do the most pathetic, losery thing I can do. And I'm going to make this into a boycott about your wedding.
Yeah.
That's the most pathetic move you could make.
For real.
Outside of being like, actually, I'm going to get married a day before you, and I'm going to wear this dress.
It's like, oh, I bought it first. So, no one else can ever wear this. Okay. Also, it doesn't matter if it's in a different color or not. Same dress, can't do it. I don't know. I feel like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's what my mom says.
Yeah, everyone's got a little bit. Anyway, let's get into these comments. Comment 1 says, everyone sucks here. All of you sound difficult, except possibly your SO, who was caught between a bunch of self-righteous, entitled people who don't care about the damage they do. Rob Reply says, the mother-in-law is difficult, but so is OP. You could have been the bigger person and get another dress. You said it yourself, you can still return it, and no big loss. Seems like OP chose to make it more difficult and is a bit of a bridezilla. I don't know, man. Like, I think if you find a dress that you're like, I want that as my wedding dress, it makes sense that you're not like, all right, let me just go find a different one now.
Yeah.
It's like you found the one you wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't understand that it's 2 separate events and they're 2 weeks apart from each other. And it's the same dress, but 2 different colors.
This could all be fixed by just like, if anyone's like, oh my God, didn't your daughter-in-law wear that dress for her wedding? It's like, yeah, oh my God, we both bought the dress without even realizing it. I guess we both just have the best taste.
That's it.
Instead, you're like biting your nails like, what if everyone thinks I'm a, what if everyone thinks I'm a loser? who only wears dresses that I've seen on other people.
Me and my daughter-in-law can't have the same taste. Oh, Bouchard.
We'll be the laughing stock of the country club.
Oh,
Oh.
everyone will just spit on our feet.
No one will be going to your wedding now. No one is allowed to see the dress on what.
And then they just die.
Spontaneously combust.
You should help your fiance out and not wear the dress. Get a different one, because you are ruining his relationship with his family. And yeah, they are being an a-hole, but he loves them, and you're driving the wedge. I can't see a good marriage from a start like this, especially since he's mad at you now. Shut up, dude.
I know.
Comment to info. If her party was before your wedding and she wore her dress, would you still wear your dress to your wedding? OP says, yes, but I do get her point. There is a lot of stereotypes about mother-in-laws being jealous and creepy, and the verdict was everyone sucks here.
Wow.
But we do have an edit, I guess, with some more information.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law has never acted like this before, truly, never. She is extremely laid back, doesn't show emotion, not really seeking attention, which is why my fiancé is so confused. At this point, I think the relationship with his sisters and stepdad is beyond repair for now, and I am scared to have them at the wedding. To all the people saying I should wear it to her birthday, LMAO, but I'm banned, and her ex has already promised to act as a bouncer, not that I'd ever crash it. There's a second edit. My dress is going back, and I apologize to her, because I can't understand it, but something deeply hurt her. Mother-in-law and my fiancé are talking for the first time in over a month. She seems exhausted and sad, but maybe there's hope. I really don't think stepfather-in-law or sister-in-laws will ever get over this, but we will see. And there is an update. OP has decided to get a new dress. Well, beans.
That's always just going to be in your mind now when you watch the wedding video. Be like, oh yeah, I remember I wanted that dress, but I couldn't wear it because my mother-in-law said no.
At this point, everything is just now
It's
about
not even
that.
about the dress. It's about matrimony.
And
Why are you making it about like what you're wearing?
I have a comment here because I noticed Red Bull Runners in the chat, and we have a comment that we needed to read. Your member milestone for 11 months. Riley, I'm using this to say that I absolutely love the game show, and you've done a great job. And thank you all so much for the laughs because I've really needed them. Love y'all. Thank you, Red Bull Runner. Riley does do quite a good job with the game show.
Dude, this game show this Friday,
It's going to be my first game show.
Coming this Friday.
it's going to be really good.
Murder.
What?
Murder. So, I posted here a few months ago about my mother-in-law wanting to wear the same dress to her 50th as I bought for my wedding. She did have the dress first and receipts to prove it. I got a lot of mixed feedback and ultimately decided to return the dress. It clearly triggered something massive for her. We got married a month ago, and mother-in-law did agree to come after originally refusing. Stepfather-in-law, the man who raised my husband, would not be swayed, and sister-in-laws have him blocked on everything and did not want to hear it. What a bunch of... Sorry,
It's like, who cares? Who cares?
That's it.
We didn't want you wearing this dress. We hate you now. Blocked.
Because she looked better in it than her sister did.
I kind of wondered if she was going to pull something crazy, which isn't really her style. But this whole thing has been crazy. She was very quiet and just hung out with her ex. Mother-in-law and my husband have talked a little, and she just isn't in the frame of mind for a relationship right now. She is extremely hurt, and I don't get it, but she obviously needs her space. She barely spoke during the wedding. I actually reached out to stepfather-in-law, which probably wasn't my place, but he said we didn't see her sobbing in his arms. We can't get what we did to her. I know I got a lot of pushback on my decision to return the dress, and people saying it's just a birthday, but it really isn't. Yeah, she might get one every year, but a massive party for her 51st just seems a little odd. I remember my mom's 50th and how much she put into that. It was like a wedding. Mother-in-law invited us to her party after uninviting us, and her ex pledging to play security. Ultimately, we decided not to go because of how angry stepfather-in-law and both sister-in-laws are. And stepfather-in-law admitted he was uncomfortable at the thought of seeing us. It was too much for my husband to see his whole family there. And by the way, you can see and hear every episode we've ever made by going to your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and searching OK Storytime. There's a little bit more story left here. Your mother-in-law was so emotional that she poisoned her husband and your sister's.
Yeah.
What did she do?
I feel like this whole thing was so blown out of proportion. For what? Because you both like to dress? Get over it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Who cares?
Literally could have just been like, oh my God, we both have such great tastes.
That would have been it. But nope, we have
Slay
to get in a
twin,
fight.
slay girly, nails.
The fact that a dress is ruining an entire family is crazy. I would tell them that. I'd be like, listen, let's just back up, zoom out for a sec, and let's see the real issue here is that you didn't want me to buy this dress. And now the entire family is falling apart because of this. That's insane. Just think about that for a second.
If I may curse. If I may.
Go. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, what a ass family, in the words of Kim Fine. What are they doing over there?
Yeah.
So she had her party over the weekend, and yes, I social media snooped a little bit. It looked great. She looked really happy. I'm at peace that I didn't get my dream dress. And as for us, my husband is going to therapy to heal from the grief. He has realized he needs to respect his sisters, and they're serious. The younger one broke down, sobbing, and said, I did the right thing. He didn't do anything, and she can't forgive him for just letting their mom get hurt. I still don't totally get it, but it's okay. Mother-in-law doesn't express feelings, so for some reason, this was her hill to make her last stand on. She doesn't seem too interested in a relationship, so they'll have the occasional text, I guess. And everything's over. I'm happy she has a good party, and I'm looking forward to my husband healing, and to the rest of our lives.
all right.
And that is the end of that story.
Dang, she got a priority straight.
None of that had to happen at all.
What? The whole family over there's got to be like wrapped around the mother-in-law's, whims, because
For
it's like
real.
I don't even. What was he supposed to do? So you're gonna keep your own brother cut off because he didn't what? Like throw his fiance into the ocean for wanting the same dress?
Like, okay, cool.
Like you didn't do a ritualistic Mayan sacrifice on your fiance because she made your mom cry, which I don't know. Did we forget that we're all responsible for our own feelings and our own emotions all the time? That's our responsibility as people.
Lawyer Princess says, I feel like this is menopause.
It could be. Awesome Ashley says they're going to divorce in a year.
Yeah.
Could be.
My worm blanket.
This story is so effing cringe. What a crappy family.
That was wild.
I handed my fiance the bill for his work events. He questioned every item.
Maybe he's just a thorough guy.
My fiance, Fred, works at a place that throws a lot of compulsory social events that involve a dress code, usually once a month, but often 2 or 3. I'm not one for dressing up, but when he has these things, I always go with him and dress accordingly to the dress code. I have 3 passes a year to not go. By the way, this comes from a deleted user. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, at the last fundraiser, one of his coworkers' wives asked me if the dress I was wearing was the same dress I wore a couple months ago to another event, and I said yes. The coworker hears this and asks Fred if he can't afford to buy me a new dress. Fred thought the coworker was a wiener, but later told me he was embarrassed by the joke and asked me to get a new dress for next time. Boo. Here's the thing. Fred makes more than double what I make. The only reason I can afford as many dresses and shoes and accessories as I currently can is because he pays twice what I do in everything else. He suggested this initially because he wanted a bigger place that I couldn't afford to pay half on, and we've been living like this for a year now. However, every event, which is minimum once a month, requires a new dress, new jewelry, a new bag, and new shoes. Does it, though?
That's so obnoxious.
Does it really, though? Recently, I've also started to get my hair done professionally before these events because his boss's wife and I get on well, and she asked me a few months ago to start getting ready with her, which means going to the same salon she does and getting my hair and nails done for the event while she gets hers done. I wanted to stop doing this after the first time, but Fred asked me to continue because he thinks if I talk him up to the wife, she'll talk him up to the boss. There's been occasions where getting ready with her has also involved going with her to choose her dress, and she's picked me out a dress or a bag or shoes for the event, and I've had to get them. Just for the last event, the cost of hairs, nails, dress, shoes, bag, and jewelry came to over £600. There's an average of 2 events each month, so £1,200 per month average to get to those events. I make about £1,800 a month. Living expenses, even with him paying significantly more than I do, come out to about £500. I collected up my receipts, handed them to him, and said, look, I'm fine with coming to your things, but I need you to help me out with them. You know how much I make, and all of my disposable income is going into this. If you want me in all new stuff every month, then I need you to pitch in. If the budget doesn't stretch that far, then I'm just going to have to wear my old dresses. He then starts going through the receipts, asking if I really needed this or that. He then said that he already pays out a shed load every month, and he's going to need me to keep spending as normal. I said that he needs to at least partially fund the next outfit, or I'm using my pass. Am I the a-hole? And there are some more comments here from OP. I don't know. I think you need to have the discussion of like, I just can't afford this, and I'm going to have to tell your boss's wife that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they made was it the boss's wife who made the comment, or no, it was someone else who made the comment of like, well, you can't afford another dress for her, you know? So that obviously bruised his ego, and so now he's like, you need to buy a new dress for each occasion. And it's like, okay, that's what, so at least once a month. So that's 12 new dresses. And I'm guessing they're, you know, luxury dresses. I don't think that they're, you know, anything like, you know, going to like Target or TJ Maxx or something. Like you're going to like probably like a boutique or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Every outfit's at least £600. That's
yeah.
from the sound of it, so
I mean, that's a lot, I think.
I think this could be the opportunity he's looking for. If you leverage this right to the wife, it's like, yeah, I want to keep buying all these dresses, but like, you know, it's a lot of expense. Maybe my husband needs a raise for the girlies. Raise for the girlies.
Raise for my dresses.
I don't know, but we've got some comments here. OP says that he doesn't make me go. And if I said I didn't want to go, he wouldn't force me. But if I had my way, I would never, ever have to go, which is one extreme or the other. I suggested we each get passes to get out of events as a sort of compromise, as he hates my work-related events too. If I ever used up my passes but still didn't want to go, he would never make me. I suggested the passes just so I would feel better about it. We are getting married, so we can't keep our lives separate. He goes to my stuff and I go to his. We both hate it, but whoever has to go hates it more. He dislikes going as much as I do, but he has to go to his the same way I have to go to mine. So I'm there to talk him up and provide moral support, and he does the same for me. And we do have an update.
I feel like if you're going to these and you both hate it, you should try doing something like while you're there, or like, you know, making it fun, you know, because I feel like if you're like cool people, like, and like creative people, you can make fun out of any situation.
Yeah.
Like if you hate going to these things, it's like, okay, what's like something like we could do like a workplace bingo or something.
Like, channel the fact that you both hate it like into making it more fun.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what's gonna, instead of you both just being like, hate it here, hate it here, hate it here, you know.
But that aside, I do think if the way that this is being approached is that you are going and doing this because the person you're doing it with is a possible like social, political connection that could further his career, then he needs to approach it as a business expense for him. So it should be coming from him. At least like part of it. Like he's saying you need to pay for all this yourself. It's like he should be splitting it or paying like 75% of it or something. If he's really looking at it that way, then that's what's fair.
And he's the one who wants you to have new dresses. Like, that's the thing. It's like you're like, I'm fine with like re-wearing dresses because who wears a dress once? Like, you know.
Well, yeah, it seems like the reason that the dress needs to be new every time
is for him.
Because every time the boss's wife goes out and shops for new dresses.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the ritual that allows her to get closer to her. So I don't know. If it's all about the social workplace politics, then it needs to be coming out of his money as well.
Yeah, because that's I don't know. I mean, you've like OP has said like I'll just rewear it, and he's like no. So like I don't know. And if you want to figure out something like maybe he buys the dresses, you buy like the shoes and like accessories or something. Like
Yeah,
I
just
don't know.
something. It needs to be a communal. You guys need to work together on it. And there is an update. We have a new agreement. He will pay for everything going forward for his work events and the salon appointments as they are for him. If he is ever required to get clothing for my work or social events, I will also cover the cost. But that has happened once in the 4 years we've been together. I'm going to keep going to these work events because we're in a relationship, one we are going to be in for the rest of our lives. I will continue to go to these events and talk him up 1 or 3 nights per month for as long as he works there because he needs me to do that. And he will come to my work and social events because I need him to do that. And by the way, I need you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to every single one of our juicy little episodes.
Yum yum yum.
So yes, I like this. It's exactly what we were talking about. This is his expense. It's for him. It's so he can get ahead at his workplace. I like this.
Problem solved.
OP continues. Just to add, I've looked into clothing rentals and tried a few services available here a while back, and none of them were great. But I got a lot of suggestions for ones that operate in my area that I could try, so I will be giving it another go. It's also worth noting that I would probably get away with re-wearing some of the dresses I wore this time last year or earlier now, as it's been over a year. And there's an edit here for emphasis. Please stop telling me to reconsider my engagement. I appreciate that internet strangers are worried about my relationship, but I'm a big girl and I know what I'm doing. Can everyone please chill on telling me to end a loving, healthy, functional relationship that I intend to be in for the rest of my life over my fiance not realizing how expensive women's clothing is? Kindly chill. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, it didn't feel like we were in divorce city for 1 second there.
No, not at all.
Just felt like we were in business negotiation town.
Yeah.
And we did. And we're now moved out and living in
Compromise City.
Compromise City. But that is the end of that story.
I called out sick with a fever, but my boss still demanded I come in.
I don't care about diseases. Everyone gets them, right?
I, 27 female, am a very easygoing person. I like to think I go out of my way to help others, and I'm a people pleaser, so it's hard for me to say no sometimes. By the way, this comes from Brandidler, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP said, I was scheduled for a serving shift. I only have this job, so I'm not at home all the time. This isn't a job for a means of survival, and I know I am very fortunate just for that fact. I do drink streams every Friday. This past Friday, I did my stream. I didn't get too intoxicated, but I was a bit swimmy. What are you talking about?
What is drink
Hey.
streams?
What do you mean you drank streams?
Oh, maybe like a drinking stream?
What
Like
does
she
that
was
mean?
like drinking on stream? And it'd be
She's
like,
she's
"Oh,
a streamer?
I don't know. I would do that.
My coworkers know of my streams too. Well, Saturday rolls around and I wake up with a fever and constantly puking my guts out. I was like this for the next 2 days. I was a shift manager and I had already, since I woke up sick, been looking for coverage. I reached out to everyone who was not working and no one would take my shift. For context, I always pick up shifts when I needed. Literally the week before, I was scheduled for 10 hours but ended up working more than 40 from picking up shifts of others calling out. I'm terrible at saying no. Even on the days I had off and set aside for myself to get my weekly things done, I still came in. Let's rewind back to me looking for coverage. So I finally reached out to my boss about 2 hours before the shift and let them know, like, hey, I'm sick. I reached out to everyone, but no one's picking up, but I can't make it in today. I'm sick with the fever, and I've been purging everything going into my body. Cool. I got left on red for about an hour just for them to say, hey, let the manager on shift know. So I did. Then all heck breaks loose. I get a text from the boss's girlfriend, who also works there but is like me, a shift manager, not my boss, my equal. She tells me I need to get a doctor's note or I'm getting written up when I come in. I am sending a picture of my throw up.
I'd be like, how does this look?
Yeah.
I threw up on the doctor's note.
Yeah.
It's in the toilet.
I ate it
flew
and
up.
I threw it up.
Mommy flew up.
I live in America, y'all. I don't have insurance, so I'm not going to go to the doctor to pay out of pocket for a note to tell you what I'm telling you now. I think that's just plain silly. And that's what I told her. She messages me back saying, well, you were fine in your stream last night. And this snapped something in me because maybe it was the sickness, the sleep deprivation, or the constant questioning whenever I needed a day off or to call out. But I said, yeah, I was fine on my stream last night. It does not matter what I did the day before. People get sick. I'm sick. Not arguing like this with y'all today, and I left it at that. Then I get a text from my boss, that girl's boyfriend, saying I needed to come in. I'm not coming in.
I
She's
don't
ignoring him.
understand that. If I call out sick, like if anyone calls out sick and I am like a manager or boss or whatever, I'm not going to tell you to come in. I don't want to get people sick.
I don't want
Whether
to
or
get
not you're
sick. I don't want to get sick. Stay home.
Yeah, it's like
Stay
I
as
don't know.
far away from me as possible if you're sick. This is a restaurant, and one of the #1 rules is to not come in when you have a fever. I am a stickler for these rules. It's just who I am. So I told him I have a fever. By law, I cannot come in as I may contaminate the place. So he then goes on to tell me if I don't come in, I'll be written up. The best threat they have.
Cool.
Write me
Yeah.
up. Do it. I dare you.
Write me up for being sick and throwing up.
Now let me insert a little side note here. I am the only one who gets questioned like this, and I have come in multiple times when I tried to call out because I was sick, because I couldn't find coverage. I have been written up because I was late to a shift I got called in for last minute. So I already have 1 write-up. You know the rule, 3 and you're out. Anyone else who calls out, the answer is always, all right, feel better. We'll figure something out for you. But the moment it's me, I get questioned and berated to the point of me normally just giving in and going in.
I have a question. Does OP do this
A
often?
lot?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's the thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it kind of sounds like it, because why else would they be?
Berating you, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This time I wasn't having it. My boss is still telling me I need a doctor's note or I'm getting written up. Then he proceeds to tell me, hey, you can buy a fake doctor's note for $50. That's what I did last week. That's when I snapped. I told him to kindly F off. I like y'all as people, but as a workplace, this is ridiculous. You're either trying to get me to come in sick as heck or break the law by buying a fake doctor's note, which I know we don't need as it's not a requirement per the restaurant rules. Like I said, I'm a stickler for rules, so I know this stuff. I told them to consider this my 2 weeks notice. Not 100% quitting. I was doing my due diligence by even giving them that. All I got back was heard, and then I was removed from the work group chat.
I actually
They removed you from the work group chat after that?
immediately.
Immediately, I
Wow.
removed you. Come on.
Whatever.
Ow.
That's
So
stupid.
they were looking for just a reason to fire you.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
Honestly, I actually cannot stand when people say heard.
Heard.
Is it better than K?
And you know why?
I feel like heard's better than K though.
Because they didn't hear you.
No, because one guy in Groundlings,
Oh.
we both had him not in different classes, but we both had him. And all he said, he always go,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh,
That's what I
heard.
thought you were going to say.
heard, heard. And I'm, oh my God,
I don't
like,
hear you.
Like, please shut up. Please, I can't. There's some people I can't. He's one of.
I didn't have as
He's
bad
one
of a time with this guy
I
as
did.
you and Vincent did.
My God, I had to
Oh.
do my final with him.
Yeah, that's tough.
Ugh.
I then get texts from the same people plus a couple more telling me I shouldn't have done that. It was uncalled for and that I should apologize.
Apologize for
I'm sorry,
what?
apologize for quitting? That's actually I'm sorry I
Yeah.
quit. No, that's insane. I'm not apologizing for crap. F off with that. I also always get in my head and overthink things, so am I the a-hole for putting in my 2 weeks because I tried to call out sick and got denied and told to come in with my fever or go get a doctor's note. By the way, you should go get full episodes of stories just like this because you can get them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but like, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, this place sounds like a nightmare to work at anyway, so I feel like you're doing yourself a favor.
Who's telling you that you need to apologize?
And once you work at a restaurant, you can basically work at any restaurant, you know. Then
Actually-
now you have the experience.
Wild to me that anyone was like, you should apologize for quitting.
Yeah, who is telling you to do that?
Unless you want your job back in you.
Yeah.
Side notes, I like these guys as people. Remove the workplace. They're generally nice people. We've hung out a few times outside of work. They know this job is not something I need, but something I got to make friends. And also just get out of the house. So I ask, am I the whole of butts? You won't hurt my feelings. Trauma, remove those for me. I'm just genuinely curious what y'all think or if I should have handled it differently. No. No.
No, it's like, what? These people are disrespectful. And you're sick and have a fever.
You're sick.
Like, sorry if they don't believe you or not. Like, I am. I don't know what, like,
What do you want me to do?
yeah.
You got a fever? Is it more cowbell?
And I got a prescription.
But that's the end of that story.
I refused to travel for my sister's wedding because I'm pregnant.
It does add some complications there.
Yeah. My sister is getting married overseas, which would involve a 8.5 to 9 hour flight. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I told her I wouldn't be able to attend. I didn't make the decision lightly. I am very risk averse, and my baby's safety is my top priority. She was understandably upset at the time and asked me to keep thinking about it, but I said I had and that I didn't want to take the risk. By the way, this comes from user Natural Staff 5575, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So just let us know what you would do if you'd do something different in the comments. And OP says, now, the wedding is less than a month away, and for the past 2 months, every time my husband is about to book his ticket, my mom and sister call and try to convince me to come. Each time, I've said no. The thing is, I want to be there for my sister. I love her, and I know her wedding will be beautiful. But I'm genuinely scared of air travel while pregnant, especially long haul. At the time of the wedding, I'll be around 29 to 30 weeks pregnant. My sister asked me to speak to my doctor, which I did. My doctor said flying itself is generally fine, but the bigger risk is being stuck in a country I don't know well if something goes wrong. He gave examples of patients who traveled late in pregnancy and ended up unexpectedly giving birth and being stuck overseas for months. While I'm currently low risk, that uncertainty really scared me. I explained all of this to my sister and thought she understood, but she keeps trying to problem solve it away, saying I'd only come for 2 days and that insurance would cover things and then I could fly business class, etc. She's an anesthetist, so she strongly believes everything will be fine. I hope she's right, but I'm still terrified. What hurts is that when my husband tried to book his ticket yesterday, my mom and sister got angry at me and told him to wait because I might change my mind. The pressure is building, and I'm starting to wonder if I should just go to stop the stress and the constant conversations, even though I don't feel safe or comfortable doing so. Don't do that. Don't do that. You just say, I'm not willing to take the risk that I give birth in overseas and then
Yeah.
get stuck there for however long.
Right. Because then also it's like then stress too from that whole situation could cause complications in the pregnancy. And
Right.
could probably, like, it's very possible that you could have it premature, I think.
Right. If you get stressed enough, it's like that could actually prompt you to release the baby.
It'd be like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. And you don't want that.
Mm-mm.
So let's not do it. I know I'm anxious and risk averse, but I also know I feel safest staying where I am, close to my healthcare and support system. I'm scared for myself and my baby, yet I feel incredibly guilty for missing such an important moment in my sister's life. So am I the a-hole for standing my ground and not going, even though my sister really wants me there? There's an edit here. It is a destination wedding, and that's fine. If it makes my sister happy, I'm happy for her. She lives 10 minutes from me, but she planned this a long time ago, and she can't change anything, although I know she would if she could. The wedding will be in the Philippines. Shout out, Keon. Thank you to everyone who commented. I understand some people have traveled with no issues, and some have experienced problems, but it's about how I feel in the end. Thank you for helping me see this. The first time my husband was booking his ticket, I happened to be on the phone with my sister, and that's when she started getting angry with me. She said before he books his ticket, I must let her know or she'll be mad at me forever. At this point, we're just going to get his ticket and hope she won't be too upset with me. I suggested my husband not go because they keep delaying it by getting upset, and this made them even more upset. What do you want? I know what you want, but like, what do you actually want? Because I'm not going.
Yeah.
I can't go.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Come on.
Right.
I would feel better if he were with me, but their reaction was worse, so he is going for both of us, which is okay. I'm just going to say no, and that's my answer. She doesn't need the reasoning. I'm pregnant is enough. I'm feeling really conflicted and could use some outside opinions, and we do have an update. I think all you can do is just stand firm and be like, look, if you guys gotta just respect my decision,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
I'm having a baby. Like that's my priority number one.
Right.
And there is a higher than 0% probability that I might end up giving birth to my baby in a foreign country if I go to your wedding at 30 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. And I wonder too, like, how these conversations are being had, because I wonder if OP just needs to like reassure the sister that, like, I really do want, like, I would love to go. I want to be there to support you. Maybe we can do something else to celebrate.
Yeah, like
I
ahead of
just-
time,
yeah.
maybe. You know, something for us.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if maybe she just needs more reassurance, because she, like, the sister might not feel like she's cared about, I guess, in this situation. You know?
I mean, like, it is a crazy thing to be like, oh, you're concerned about your pregnancy. You're prioritizing your
Yeah,
pregnancy.
totally.
Like, it's like, yeah, dude, I am.
Yeah.
Bloop, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm essentially 10 weeks out from the due date at that point, which, yeah. And then that's also like, if you do have a premature birth, then that's like a complication. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to be in an unfamiliar place with unfamiliar, you know, hospitals and unfamiliar doctors when I have
Right.
like a pregnancy complication. Like, that's
Right.
crazy. But we have an update. Update, things escalated today. Oh no, my sister messaged both my husband and me separately about a good flight she found for the two of us, and she wanted to book it today. My husband was at work, but replied letting her know that I wasn't going to change my mind, and that this situation has been causing me a lot of stress, which isn't good for me or the baby. She then called me. At first, she said, "It's okay, you aren't coming." I felt an enormous sense of relief and thanked her. But unfortunately, that didn't last, because she then started listing everything she's done for me in the past and said I couldn't even do one simple thing for her. I didn't want to argue or make things worse, so I kept apologizing and told her her wedding would still be beautiful and amazing regardless. And that upset her further. She said everyone was disappointed in me and that she would never forget this, and said several other things that felt very personal and hurtful. I mostly stayed quiet, apologized again, and calmly repeated that I wasn't going to change my mind. One comment that really hurt was when she said, "What if something worse happens where you are and nobody is there? Then you'll regret that, and you should regret that." That was extremely upsetting to hear, especially while anxious and while pregnant and already anxious. Yeah, like low key, she's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? If you don't come, I kind of hope something bad happens to you, and then you'll learn your lesson that you should have gone to my wedding."
Yeah.
It's like, that's
insane.
pretty gross, dude.
It's like, well, great. Now my husband just won't come to your wedding. Now he'll be with me.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, good point.
Yeah.
I'll cancel my husband's flight.
Yeah.
That way he can be here with me. Thanks for pointing that out.
God, that
Yeah.
she's totally the a-hole. OP doesn't need to apologize for anything.
Yeah, we're fully in a-hole territory now.
Totally.
We weren't before, but we are now.
Yep.
I responded by saying that at least where I am, I have my hospital, doctors, and support system close by. Still, the implication that I would deserve regret if something went wrong felt cruel and has been weighing heavily on me since. But something that shouldn't weigh heavy on you is the fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one wherever you listen to podcasts. All you got to do is search OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And then you can listen to everything in the whole world.
True.
In our world. After the call, I felt absolutely awful. I'm really sad about how she reacted and how things were said. I love my sister, and part of me feels like she just needed to vent her frustration, but it still hurt a lot. At this point, I know I need to rip the Band-Aid off and just book my husband's ticket. I also know that once I do, there will likely be anger directed at me again. But my decision is made. I'm devastated to disappoint her, but I truly believe I'm doing what's best for my baby and myself. I'm trying to accept that I can't control her reaction, and all I can do is hold my boundary and send my love, even though I'm heartbroken about how this has played out. Everyone in the comment section is right. I just need to move on. I don't want to stress and impact the baby, so I'm trying not to think about it as much as possible. And that is the end of that story.
My family ignored my plans, and I feel like nobody cares about me.
Why doesn't anybody care about me?
I, 35 female, am a recovering people pleaser. This year has been rough, but I have also experienced a large amount of growth, and I am trying to lean into what feels right for me.
Good.
I'm currently going through a separation from my children's father, 5 male and 17-month male. By the way, this comes from KateCat369, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you do in the comments. And OP says, I live about 60 miles from my parents and my sister, and my brother lives more than 8 hours away. My brother, 34 male, had his first daughter earlier this year and asked us to spend Thanksgiving with them. Originally, I was going to ask to host Thanksgiving because I wasn't sure how the holidays would play out with my ex, but I ended up taking the boys, so we made the trip down. It was a lot of time in the car for the kids, but I'm truly glad we made it down for them to meet their cousin and for everyone to be together. When Thanksgiving was finalized back in October, I sent out a message asking to host Christmas Eve because that was the only day that I had my kids. This message was ignored. I am exchanging them with my ex on Christmas Eve so they can make a trip down to see his family. It's not ideal, but unfortunately that's the way it is this year. My sister, 31 female, bought a house at the end of November and generally sees her husband's family on Christmas Eve. Before they closed on the house, she asked to host Christmas Eve. I explained my reasons for wanting to host, but they were mainly overlooked or met with logistical ideas for ways to fix the issues. It's not ideal, but ultimately I made the decision to go to her house on Christmas Eve. It means more time in the car for my kids, usually an hour and a half trip without traffic, but it can be upwards of 3 hours. And I will have to leave fairly early, but it was pretty much made out to be that if I don't go, my kids won't see my family at all for Christmas this year. Generally, my family does a Secret Santa, but this year they decided on White Elephant. When my mom sent out the message saying we'd exchange on Christmas Day, I said that I would like to host Christmas Day at my house. This was again met with gripe, this time from my brother, saying it would be a lot because they are leaving the day after Christmas, and it's a lot of time in the car for his daughter. Which is valid. I completely understand the realities of traveling with small kids. However, his daughter will be flying up with his wife, so there will be less time in the car. And I also offered for them to stay here because I'm actually closer to his house, and it would lessen his drive by an hour. I know packing and unpacking with kids is a pain, but being that my youngest is only a year older than his daughter and he will be with his dad, I have a lot of what my niece would need, and she could sleep in my son's crib. We had a discussion where I was very clear this Christmas is going to be hard for me without my kids, and I want to be grounded, and being home is where I feel most grounded. Once I made my decision, I also sent a note to my parents explaining that I would be staying home for Christmas. Anyone who wants to come is welcome, but I need this Christmas to be easier on me since I am already grieving not having my children. Once again, I was met with crickets. I was texting with my uncle, and he was asking what my kids want for Christmas. I also mentioned how hard that day would be for me, and he mentioned that the logistics of Christmas Eve didn't make sense to him. He then mentioned that if there was a good Chinese food restaurant in my area, he and I could recreate the scene from A Christmas Story. I found one and made a reservation. All of this with my family was really weighing on me. I felt like in a year I needed people, they weren't showing up. So I sent a message about a week ago just laying out how I feel. How this is a really tough year for me. My kids will be doing a lot of traveling between Thanksgiving, then my family on Christmas Eve, and my ex's family on Christmas Day. Once again, I was met with surface level empathy and more logistical solutions. A few days later, my mom asked if we had decided on Christmas. I said, as I have said before, I want to be home. It was then brought up that my uncle mentioned to my sister going to the Chinese restaurant. Now, yes, maybe I should have reached out to ask if anyone wanted to come, but I had already said multiple times that I wanted to be home and was met with crickets. My brother got upset that I was making plans with just me and my uncle. I made it very clear to anyone who wanted to come was welcome, and I would update the reservation. He then asked where the restaurant was and if I was open to finding somewhere more in the middle. I said no. And by the way, I would say yes if you wanted to listen to full episodes with stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. You're allowed.
Yeah. We say yes.
We say yes. And there is a little bit more to the story. But what are your thoughts on all this?
I don't know. It just seems like everyone's being very, like, not understanding to you. When you're just like, this is going to be really rough for me, and I just want it to be as not rough as possible, so I'm staying home, and anyone who wants to come here can come. And yeah, we're going to get Chinese food, and anyone who wants to come can come. Maybe it's maybe OP's family thinks they are to blame for the separation, and so that's why they're not very sympathetic.
Whoa, that's a theory right there.
To be honest, we didn't really hear anything about why.
We didn't.
So, if the separation is because someone did a little dastardly deed.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because, I feel like I need more information. Because part of me does feel like, well, I mean, I get that it would be hard, but I guess I just don't really know the extent of it. And I feel like it makes more sense that, like, the driving with the kids for so long for Christmas Eve, that would be harder to do. But then I also think that, like, if your brother is 8 hours away and you're expecting him to just come all that way just because, like, you want to be home for Christmas, like, I don't know if that's something that I would prioritize over, like, the 8-hour drive.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think it'd be cooler if your family was like, all right, okay, you want an easy Christmas, you don't want to, because there's a lot going on on Christmas. And if you're like, hey, you just need it to be calm and you need to center yourself, that's okay. We're not going to take that personally because clearly you're going through something.
Yeah. Yesterday, I got a text from my sister saying that she and her husband are going to stay home for Christmas. She was upset with how things played out and felt overlooked and uncomfortable. Then my mom said that she and my dad would be getting brunch with my brother and his family in the morning and then come to me for dinner. Now I feel like an a-hole. I can admit I probably didn't go about the reservation the right way, but honestly, I said multiple times that I wanted to be home and I was ignored. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments. Comment 1 says, not the a-hole. You're not asking for anything unreasonable. You're asking for compassion during a really painful transition. You're already bending over backwards for Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, and it's okay to draw a line somewhere. Wanting to be in your own home, especially on a day you won't even have your kid, is completely valid. The fact that your family responded with silence instead of empathy says more about them than you. Comment number 2 says, not the a-hole. Maybe being together on Christmas Eve should be enough, and then y'all go your separate ways on Christmas Day, or your parents could take turns. You did nothing wrong. Your requests were ignored, and I don't know why you didn't get them on the phone and ask why they were ignoring the texts. Do that. Stop this texting nonsense. Take care, and I'm sorry you are going through this. And that's the end of that story.
I plan to stop financially supporting my son because he changed.
No more money for you, boy.
I, 38 male, have a total of 6 children. To keep this short, I'm talking about my son, 13 male. My son doesn't live with me anymore after he got into some trouble, and it was decided that it was best if he moved in with my ex-wife. He and his older sister, 18 female, live with her. By the way, this comes from user Ordinary Trash 5928, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so please let us know what you do in the comments. So, my children and I lived together for about 7-ish years after their mother and I split. The move to their mother was within the last 2 years. Recently, I've noticed that my son isn't returning my phone calls or text messages. I'm only asking this now because I'm afraid that he will look at reaching out come Christmas time with a list. Recently, my son has been in some trouble in school, and while his mother and I are not adversarial, we aren't always in sync in regard to discipline. But she keeps me apprised of his behaviors and whatnot. There were 2 recent incidents where I, as his father, needed to intervene. One was an incident that could have landed him in jail, and his mother and I had a long talk with him where we let him know that if he does end up in jail, that he will stay there until I get there. I'm 9 hours away for context. He made it clear to me that he doesn't want to move back in with me because my house is full of his other siblings. They all get along. He just likes his space, and there isn't a lot of room to have quiet with a toddler and an infant, so I'm not salty about that. But back to the issue, his mother and I told him if he didn't get his act together, that he would have to move back in with me. We were in sync on this. We were also in sync with his social media, as he had vulgarity, and his little girlfriend from high school posted things his mother and I agreed were major no-nos. Before he went home this past summer, I told him I wasn't even fond of him having a girlfriend, but he didn't live with me, so I asked him to, at the very least, be respectful. So when I saw what was posted, he got himself a tongue lashing and was told to take the vulgarity and girlfriend off immediately. Well, I guess that pissed him off because it's been weeks now and he hasn't responded to a call, text, video call, or anything. I asked his mother if there was an issue and she said she would talk to him. His older sister and I talk regularly, so in our most recent call, I asked her if she could gently remind him that I've been reaching out. When I asked her about it, she said he just rolled his eyes and ignored her. This is what I feared. My son is actively avoiding me. I'll wrap this up. My daughter and I talk, so when it comes to Christmas specifically, when she sends her list, I'm all set for doing her list. Now, I can say one thing I could believe it to be is that recently I seen that he took a picture he had with his 2-month step-sibling off and posted this girlfriend again. I'm not the social media police. If you want to take your little brother off, those were the words he used in the post, then by all means. However, here we are, and Christmas is quickly knocking on our door. Now for my 2 children that don't live at home. Yes, I support them financially. I pay child support, and if they have ever asked, I could do it, then they had whatever within the week. Not to mention, if I'm out or online shopping and I see something one would like, I go out of my way to send it to them. This ducking me and being blatantly disrespectful has had me thinking, should I fund my disrespect? Should I keep doing extra for a kid that disrespects me? So I have a deadline that says if he doesn't reach out by next week without asking for something, then Christmas for him is canceled.
Whoa, you're gonna cancel Christmas?
Well, you can't do that.
Canceling Christmas?
People have jobs. Those elves,
Those elves, you're gonna put all those elves out of work?
Santa and Mrs. Claus out of work. What are we
Wow.
doing? The reindeer?
Wow.
OP, come on. And I'll be withdrawing all financial support moving forward, minus child support. Am I overreacting or does he need this lesson? Now, I don't want to cut him off, but if he's going to continue to make himself unavailable to even talk and be blatantly disrespectful to me, why should I keep dropping cash apps or go out of my way for anything other than books, underwear, and socks for Christmas? I don't know how else to get his attention. I can't just show up to my ex-wife's house. Am I the a-hole? Comment number 1. You are the a-hole. The teen years are hard, and your child is lashing out. You canceling Christmas as a punishment is not going to suddenly make him run into your arms and say that he loves you. Outside of telling him that his social media is unacceptable, what sort of relationship and interactions do you have with your son? If they are always negative and you're always a disciplinarian, and then of course he's going to duck you when he knows all he's going to get is an earful of lecture. He's going to roll his eyes and he's going to be annoyed, but maybe you two could better discuss these things in person. When was the last time you saw him and spent quality time with him? OP responds with, my son and I used to have daily text threads and weekly check-ins on the phone. It was a sudden answer, abrupt departure. More to come in the update. Comment number 2. Not necessarily the a-hole, honestly. To a large extent, his behavior sounds like typical I'm irritated with you teenage behavior. As long as you continue to pay child support and save for college or whatever is in your divorce decree, I would discuss with his mom what would be appropriate for Christmas. His behavior should have consequences, but if he was being a typical bratty teenager at home, what would the level of your response be? If he chooses to ignore you, then maybe. No, he shouldn't expect to receive a gaggle of gifts or money come Christmas, but also not nothing. I would suggest having a conversation with your ex so that you can all be in accord on this issue of what's reasonable and give him a warning. Even if he only talks to you so that he can have a nice Christmas, the act of doing that will help you to foster and rebuild your connection. And if you don't decide to warn him that his behavior is going to have consequences at Christmas, you should be doing things to try and create connection with your son, despite the distance. Visit as often as possibly you can, or have him come to you. He's a teenager, so he's going to be a brat. He's not going to want to do it, but when you get your ex in your corner, you all can certainly force him to dedicate a specific amount of time on specific days to communicate with you. He may be reluctant initially or quiet, but you just have to keep engaging with them so that relationship doesn't get more awkward and distant. Boys are so different, but keep working on it. Maybe seek out a therapist to help you get tools to parent communicate and engage more effectively from afar with your son. Good luck. There's an update.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think those were great comments. I think there's this part of me that's like, yeah, I know what to do. And then part of me is like, holy crap, I'm terrified of becoming this parent. Like, not becoming OP, but like being a parent through these teenage years.
Yeah, I think the closest thing I've been to as a parent is like, I've been a camp counselor, I've been a
Yeah.
babysitter. But even to that degree, that I'm like, I'm still not even 1/10 of a parent at that
Right.
point.
Like I worked with kids, but like oldest was like 10.
Yeah.
Like pretty much.
I've worked with kids, but like, yeah, totally. I mean, try to put yourself in his shoes, OP.
Yeah.
And I know that's really hard, but try to put yourself in his shoes. He's a teenager going back and forth, changing his, his homes where he's staying. I think the removing the post of his youngest sibling, I think that's just to like act cool. Like my social media presence.
Yeah.
Kids like I feel like when I had pictures of me as a baby or in my room or like my family, when I started having like girls coming over, I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
don't look
Like,
at that.
don't look at that. Don't look at that.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. So that's probably the thing. It's just like, oh, my younger sibling's so lame. I can't have them. I can't
can't
be
have-
proud of my younger siblings.
All he says is goo goo gaga pee pee caca. Like,
Yeah.
and we do have an update. Turns out the kid had a legitimate beef with me. For starters, to the people projecting that I chose my new family over him, quit it and seek therapy. Mom and I talked today, and she told me there was a beef, and she wasn't getting any headway past that. But she told him he wasn't allowed to dodge me anymore. Whatever it was, he owed his father the decency of telling me what the problem is. Some of you aren't going to be a fan of it, but we are raising our kids to face their problems and not cower from them. So, what was this beef? Turns out he had hurt himself just a week before the dressing down about his inappropriate activities on social media. He was expecting the call to be me checking on him and asking if he was okay. Opie says, I did not. So much had happened in that week, it legitimately slipped my mind. Now the injury wasn't major, and Mom mentioned it to me in a very nonchalant type of way. The following day, she followed up and let me know he was good, then proceeded to go into a long convo about the inappropriate behavior on socials. I worked nights, so I couldn't talk about it with him immediately. Took a few days in between my talk with Mom and when I could talk to him, the behavior on socials, and it was so bad, so it needed to be addressed. So, in my head, when I addressed him, he was fine physically, but he needed the stern talking to about his social behavior. And by the way, I have a stern talking to you to let you know that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and searching up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left here, Angie. What say you?
I think it's great that we have an answer here. I think conversation, hopefully this can like open up a heart-to-heart kind of thing, because I feel like there were a lot of things when I was younger where it was like, oh, Mom, like, why are you doing this? And then she like tells me, like, it's kind of, I guess, the opposite situation, but she opens up in some sort of like heart-to-heart thing, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, I totally understand now. And so maybe if the opposite happens, of like he's like, oh my gosh, I just had no idea that you felt this hard about it. I'm so sorry. Like, I had no like bad intentions. Like, I
Right.
do want to be there for you. I'm glad I know now, and please tell me, in the future if you want more attention like this.
Opie says, you know what my son was thinking? Dad didn't check on me. When he told me that, my heart sank, y'all. My son has been in his feels because I didn't check on him. My wife and I talked it over, and I remember saying it to her. My ex told me he is good. I wronged my son, and I had to apologize. He agreed that he missed our chats and weekly check-ins. We proceeded to have a long, in-depth conversation about his previous behavior and why it is inappropriate to post another child on social media, even if it is his girlfriend. I asked him if he'd like it if those things were said about his sisters, and I asked him if he would like her father seeing that said about his little girl. He understood what I meant and sees why his mother and I feel it's inappropriate. Is all well? Probably not yet, but what I know is I'd definitely be the a-hole if I canceled Christmas. Thanks for the feedback, y'all.
Christmas is saved.
Never, to any kid, never cancel Christmas.
Don't cancel Christmas.
That shouldn't even be like a plan on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, never cancel Christmas.
Yeah.